yourself. Open your eyes and know for yourself.
Okay, my people. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. You're tuned into Come Reason with Rattigan with yours truly, Wil, the Rebel Rattigan. Can you hear me, my people? Let me scroll down and say, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Oh, Patel. All right. Good, 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 good. I could go up at the top here and big up the people, them. Carly Banks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doreth. Good evening. Miss A. Thank you. Be blessed always. More life, more strength. Patel. Good evening. Laura. Yes, another Wednesday of learning. God blessings to you as well. Paulette MacArthur. Yes, blessings, Paulette. Country Gal 84. Good evening to you, Country Gal. I wonder why it's 84. Is there 83? We'll find out. Douglas, bless up yourself and the family. Beverly, wonderful Wednesday. Blessings. Merle the Pearl. Beautiful girl, blessed love. Go back a second to OT. Go back to Merle. Come to the next how this is how that's for. Merle, you kill me, Merle. All right, go ahead. We'll get into it. We'll get into it, OT. Jeffrey Warrell. Greetings to you, sir. Blessings, blessings. Cecile Phillips. Good night, good night. Thank you for joining us. Queen Breezy. Queen Breezy, bless up Elaine. Bless up yourself, Queen Breezy. D, up, way up there, D. Big up yourself, Dorette. Byron King, we're happy to have you here, sir. Thanks for joining us. Carla Williams, let me say good evening. It took me half hour to find you. Could not find it at all. Don't know what's going on with YouTube. That's interesting. Well, we're happy you found us, and we trust that you're going to have an enjoyable time and also an informative time with us. Thanks for joining us, Carla. Sweeney, big up yourself. Good night. You know, OT minutes in the body, I say good morning. I wonder, well, actually, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yeah. People in the Middle East and the people in Africa and the Far East. Morning time now for them. And the people in Europe. Anyway, so it go. Sweeney, good night. Good night. JP, blessings to you and your family. Oh, D. All right. Good night. Good night. All right, Jeffrey, big up yourself. Joy Blogs Z. Big up, Joy Blogs. Yes, Carla. Andrew Pine. Thank you, sir. Right this over on there. Upful. Cedalyn Gale. Hi. How are you? Don James. Big up yourself, Don. Yes, Joey Blogs. Okay, all right, Miss D. All right. Reggae girl. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us as usual. That's it, Oti. Oh, Wendy Gray. Thank you, Wendy. Enough love and respect. Mike Reed, big up yourself. Thanks for joining us. Oh, all right, Sidlin. All right. Good to know. Kenneth Campbell. Blessings. Mr. G. Mr. G for great. Also, greetings to you, Mr. G. Is that it, OT? That's it. All right. All right, folks. Listen, we feel mellow tonight. So mellow that for the first not long I feel like because I just go kick back and just hold our meds and go sleep. But we have to deal with this thing. Big J64. Yes, I am here. Big up yourself. Diana Atkinson, greetings. So, depending on how long I want to stay, Yvonne Miller, big up yourself. We will keep this thing going. We're going to open the phone lines and have all of you, provide all of you with the opportunity. Freedom, big up yourself. More you call freedom, no worry yourself. Soon do that. Yeah, we're going to open the phone line and we're going to talk about a few things. And of course, anything you want to talk about, it's okay. But let me tell you about the program. Okay, let me tell you about I was going to talk to you about the program coming up on Saturday, but OT said, no, talk to them about the program coming up in December. Okay. Now, folks, Reggae Girl, yeah, me know, I heard that. Something going. In fact, you know what? I spoke to a member of his campaign today, and the member told me that they couldn't talk to me for long because he said that I think Mark Golding was over that side and they were having something. So so I guess it's still going on. All right, no problem. Marlon Brown, big up yourself. So here's what's going to happen. Well, again, want to big up all of the people who contributed in any way, shape, or form, even if you just said a prayer for us. Equally important. And if you gave us a little bit of money, we consider it a lot because it's a sacrifice and a lot of people suffering and struggling. And so if you gave us $5, believe me, it's as if you gave us 5 million because we know that you have to make some kind of a sacrifice, some stretch to make the donation. And if you gave us thousands of dollars, we appreciate that immensely. But let me just say that the function we had was outstanding. The message is resonating, and that's what it was all about. It was about the message. It wasn't about an individual. Of course, I wanted to be there, and it would have been nice to see all of you. But guess what? God give me health, God give me strength, and hopefully, thankfully, He'll provide me with the health and strength for many years to come. So, in time, I will see all of you in the flesh, God willing. So the function went off all right, great actually, and the message has gone out, and as I said last week, just as a reminder, the next one is going to be at my primary school, Balmaji Primary School, West Bay Farm Road, Waterhouse. And we're asking all of the Waterhouse people to come out and support the event. People who live in Waterhouse, people who used to live in Waterhouse, show up. And the people who from Waterhouse who are fortunate enough to live overseas and able to make some money and things like that, we're looking to you to support the community. So it won't be the OJLDF providing complete support. We're looking for communities to help with the planning, help with the support. Because at the end of the day, this is all about you. All about you. Dr. Ben, big up yourself, sir. So, Dr. Frozen OT. So, yeah, it's frozen. So what we'll do is we're making the plea right now because we can't go back and there are some other funding strategies we're looking at, but the essence of this, of the message, is that we want to get it to as many communities as we can in Jamaica. And we're hopeful that the communities can actually take on some of the responsibility and do it for themselves. We will be in support, but for most of them, we cannot be in full support, total support. So we want the communities to be involved because they have a stake in fact, they have a huge stake in what happens with the children and also the adults learning about civics and participating in the process as a well-informed Jamaican. So that's where we are. The one in Waterhouse is going to be in December. Tentatively, meaning we're working on it. We have a date, but it's not firm yet. It's Saturday, December 6th. Saturday, December 6th. And we're reaching out to people in the community. We have reached out to people already, and we will continue to reach out to people. We have some time, but not much time, because by the time you go and look around, it's December. So we're working on that. And then the one after that will be in Mandeville. Cool Mandeville. And folks in Mandeville are working on that already. I already have someone who has offered to provide food for about 400 people. So we will go with that. Okay, say OT, say OJLDF will play a supporting sponsor role. So we won't take on the whole thing, but we'll work with you. We'll work with you with the speakers. We'll work with you with some funding and whatever else is necessary. But we want you to realize that this is your thing and that you have a role to play. And that shouldn't be a one-off. It shouldn't just be something that will come and we do it today and then we don't do it again. It should be something that, you know, we're all involved in. Once yes, my people. So, Hugh, big up yourself. Blessings. Hurricane, I just love that name. The Hurricane Hattie. Blessings. There's another name I like, you know, what it called? It has something to do with a horse. You remember at OT? There's somebody who has a name associated with wild horse. Can't remember. Cheerful horse. Yeah. Cheerful. Yeah. Cheerful wild horse. Ah, there you go. All right. So that is where we are with that. And we'll be talking about this in the weeks and months to come. Another thing is, OT, did we check to see how many people signed the petition? Because we kind of lose track of it. Lance, big up yourself. We kind of lose track of it. So do we have any word on how many people signed the petition? When you find out, please let me know. J Master Songwriter, Miss B, big up yourself. Good to see you. Well, actually, I can't see you, but I know you're there. So I guess to some degree, I can't see you. But folks. So we talk about the upcoming rallies in Waterhouse and Mandeville. We talk about the petition, and now, yeah, Lance White said 2,204. Yeah, that's not that for something that's been going on for so long. It's not enough. It's not enough, and you know it's a crying shame because on the average on the Saturday program we have about, I don't know, 14,000 views, which means you may have like 15,000 people watching or 16,000, whatever the numbers. It's a lot more than 2,000, and we don't have enough people signing it. And Andrew, I agree with you. I don't understand why it's so difficult to get people to sign. Now, I understand that there were some technical issues, but I thought that those issues were resolved and that people were now signing. But it hasn't, from the last time, the last number I got, which was a little over 2,000, till now, it's yeah. But you know what? It will happen. It will happen because the election is coming up, and watch, there's gonna be groundswell support for it. In the meantime, we'll just continue working on the project, and then whenever the signatures reach a certain level, then we'll just ask them to fly the gate, and then we'll see what happens. But people, this is about all of us. It's about all of us, and we have 174 devices tuned in right now, and I'm pleading with those of you who have not signed the petition. Please, please, please go there and sign the petition. No. Please go there and sign the petition. No. ACLB, big up yourself. You need to do a show asking what's the problem, really. Yeah. Andrew, you're right. You're right. Rosalie Ricketts, that is. Blessings, blessings. Lindell McCormack, good evening, good night. Peter Flynn, greetings. Devon Fletcher, to an informative evening on the show. Thank you, sir. So am I. Okay, well, JP, if you can put a little bit more pressure, and then we move forward. Because, you know, last night I was on Mystics show, and a lot of people, you know, some of the questions were about, okay, what are we going to do? And it's not just Mystics show, it's the several, including the show. People ask, so what are you going to do? What are we going to do? And then when you say, okay, we are going to do the heavy lifting, just sign the thing. And then people don't sign. Stay tight, big up yourself. Brenda Elson. Leroy Kittenhead. How do you sign? OT, put up something for me, please. In the chat so that people can go on and sign. Okay, and OT is reminding me that we're going to ask people. Sheila Gray Passmore, good evening, good evening. Grace Burke, can a person sign more than one time? I'm not sure. OT, is that possible? Son of Love, greetings. OT, can you sign more than one time? I doubt it, because you have to, unless you're going to use a different email address, I think. I think if you use the same email address, it won't allow you, but I'm not sure. Let's hear from OT. Thanks, JP. Dorrit, thank you also, please. Peter Flynn, a big up. Miss Elaine. Yeah, Android. Yeah. Oh, use a different email. Yeah, if you use the same email, it won't allow you. The system won't allow you to sign twice. But if you use a different email, that's fine. All right. So Lorraine said that she was trying and it gave her a hard time. OT, help out with that, please. Sadlin says she don't think most people understand how to do it. Well, each one teach one, and if we can help, if you know somebody, if you can do it, and you know somebody who's trying but cannot, please help them. Hudlin Peter, let's unite with facts. Okay. All right. Like I said, we're going to open up the phone line pretty soon, and then we're going to take all of the calls. Dr. Ben was with us a while ago. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, he'll rejoin us. This Saturday, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell everybody to come, because I'm working hard to provide a good show, an outstanding show for all of you this Saturday. Because this Saturday, all of you know my favorite minister, right? And we haven't spoken about her in a while. It's been a while. We talked about her the other day because the government received some gifts from India, medical equipment, etc. And they received it for the hurricane season. Some of the equipment should be used right now. And so the point we made during that broadcast was that instead of storing the equipment right now, if there's a need, why not just use the machines now? Use the supplies now. You hold on to it, and next thing you know, it's time to use it during the hurricane season. It's not working. What better way to find out if it's working than use it now? And people really, really need help. The medical situation in Jamaica is dire. It's atrocious. It's barely existing. People are dying. And when I say people, you know who I'm referring to most of all. Babies are dying at an alarming rate. And instead of the government looking at this as an emergency and treating it as such, they've come out with statements indicating that the mothers are at fault for the death of these babies because of their choices. You believe that? That's how empathetic this government is. That's how sympathetic this government is. That's how caring this government is. That babies are dying. And their focus is to make statements indicating that the mothers, they're supposed to be held responsible. This is... And if you recall, a few years ago, Dr. Fenton Ferguson, I think it was 18 babies died under his watch. And he made a statement. I didn't hear the statement, but I've read that he made a statement stating that the babies weren't real people, something like that. And he was lambasted. And he was castigated, and he was all of the gated you can think about. They gave it to him, and he had to leave. I think he left and went to Ministry of Labor. But he had to leave. And now we have a minister there who's doing, if you thought, because some people will tell you, no, Fenton Ferguson was doing a great job. But if you thought that he was doing a terrible job, this Minister of Health and Wellness, it would be a disservice to Fenton Ferguson to even make a comparison. It would be a disservice to Fenton Ferguson, because this Minister of Health and Wellness has no clue what he's doing, and he's just failing day in, day out, month in, month out. year in, year out. He's failing. And what action has been taken against him? Shana K. Alexander, babies were born. Oh, the government, the babies were born premature. Just to ask. Oh, okay. And the Barbara gave up. Bless up yourself. And no action has been taken against him. This man is look at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Look at a whole bunch of medical centers across the island. Look at nurses leaving in droves, doctors leaving in droves. Look at the state of the emergency ward. Look at the state of the hospitals themselves. And look at the state of patients. It's this, the system is collapsing. It's all yeah, you're right, Jeffrey. He's always deflecting and blaming somebody's. You know, I've never heard him say, you know, this happened on my watch. I'm responsible. Blame me. That's one of the hallmarks of a true leader. You don't hear him say that. And blame everybody. I heard him blame the regional medical administrator, blame patients, blame visitors, blame everybody but himself. Who's this? Hold on. So thank you, Stella. Thank you. Joey Blogs and Elaine. Just watch a chat because we're going to have people and especially now that you know it's coming up to election time, people are getting desperate and they will say all kinds of things to distract us. They will do all kinds of things. So we just have to make sure that those people, we don't tolerate them around here. We just, as soon as they come on the chat, there's somebody I just got rid of, Everton Jarrett. Please pay attention. Please pay attention to the okay. Yeah, because we don't want as you know, I'm a very lenient person, I'm a very patient person, and I'll listen but no is not the time, because what happened now is they're not coming on now to have a discussion, they're coming on now to distract, they're coming on to curse. And what that tells me is that we don't need people like that, because they don't have the reasoning ability. And so once you start reason, within a few minutes of talking to these people, you find out that they're nincompoops, they're idiots. They can't hold a good discussion, because when you start hitting them with facts, they have no place to go. And so what do? They make it personal, and then them start tell you about your mother, them start tell you about your children, your woman, your wife. Them start tell you about all kinds of things. And what that shows is that these people are deficient. They're deficient. They can't sit with you and have a reasoning and even agree to disagree. They can't. And some of these people, it's not worth your time. Like the what's her name? OT. We were talking about it today. The poet who said that I don't regret my past. I regret spending time with people who are. Let me see if I find it. Some of you probably remember. Let me see. Actually, I'll be right here. Hold on. Stay with me. Stay with me, people. Stay with me. So, Look go OT, remember it? I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. It says, it says, I don't regret my past. I just I just regret the time wasted with the wrong people. Not make a whoop. I said, I don't regret my past. I just regret the time wasted with the wrong people. So I say all of that to say this. We're going to have some wrong people coming into the chat. Mark my words, it started already. And they're going to come in and they're going to say all manner of evil about me, about all of you. But I don't want you to take them on. This is not the time to take on those people. That time has long gone. Just regard those people as non compos mentis. Not up your so, right? Non compos mentis, not the so. So you just leave them alone and make a move on. So monitors, I'm asking you, just pay attention as soon as them come on. Don't even hesitate. Just hit them. Just get rid of them. Wash them out. Quick, so we can continue. And I'm telling you, and I'm glad this is a good time for me to tell you this, because this Saturday we're going to have a marvelous program. Trust me. I'm putting all of my energy in it. I mean, I've been reading, I've been analyzing, I've been talking to people, I've been collecting stuff, and we are going to expose this government for its hypocrisy. We are also going to show you, apart from being hypocrites, they're downright liars. And we're going to play you their videotapes. And then we're going to show you the documents. And then once you see it, and they'll be watching too, you know. They'll be watching, and I'm telling you, it'll go burn them. It'll go burn them. Kimani said, Pershad said, I think now is the time for the PNP to start rolling out more campaigners to show more of the corruption to people. Yeah, but you know what, Kimani? It's up to them. It's up to them. Stella, yeah, you're right. Stella, you used to be so patient because you know what, Stella was that try build a big tent, bring everybody in. But then we realize that some people they want to stay outside in the rain. Some people don't understand what it's like to be dry under the cover or covered under the tent when there's a rainstorm outside. Some people just want to stay outside. And what you have to do with those people, you just have to just leave them alone. Leave them alone. You tell them, come, and them don't want to come. Leave them alone. Larkland, yeah, Larkland, you're you kind of right, Larkland, and I'll tell you why. To some degree, we kind of reflect the society where it's a 9-day wonder. Fortunately, gladly for us, I don't do 9-day wonders. The problem I'm having is to do all of the stories that Kevin and OT and producer June that we have an abundance of riches, and it's also an embarrassment of riches because we have to sit down there and pick. Okay, what we want to talk about? What's topical? What's significant? They're all significant, and we have to make our choice because 5 hours. Believe me when I tell you, 5 hours to do a program, it's not long for me because we have so many stories to do, so many, and we keep emphasizing that we're not gonna do 9-day wonders around here. If we did something, we need to revisit and find out what's going on. And another thing, people, I'm begging you, I have to come back and do another program on it. You have to file your ATIs. What if I told you that I have over 20 something responses that I have them, I've read them, but I can't even use them because of the amount of things we have to talk about. I got one yesterday that we definitely will be talking about this Saturday, and it's the Hansard proceedings. And you can ask for this, because here's what happened now. Make we talk. I take Jeffrey's line now. Make we talk. You see a law, right? Or you hear about a law, or you read about a law. And have you ever asked yourself, how did this come about? Most of you, I would hazard a guess to say, no. You read the law, and then you start looking at how it might affect you and your community and others. If any reason at all. If you even think about it, that's how you'd probably think about it. You don't think, what was the process that led to the creation of this law? You don't. Well, I'll tell you about one aspect of it. The one aspect that I'd like to talk to you about is the discussion about what should a bill look like. Because remember, we talked about it. Anything coming out of the Parliament is not a law until the Governor General has signed off on it and until the Attorney General has reviewed it. Until those two people have participated, a bill is just a piece of paper with some words, no legal effect. When the Attorney General says, yes, this does not seem to violate the Constitution, and it's passed up to the Governor General, and the Governor General says, okay, and he signs it, up to that point, that piece of paper is just that, a piece of paper with words on it. It means nothing. But here is a part of the process I'd like to talk to you about. It's a discussion between the parliamentarians. Somebody will put up the bill, it goes before a committee or what, and then they start discussing it before it comes to the floor for a vote. But they'll discuss it many times. Now, that discussion, did you know you can get that discussion? Did you know that? You can get that discussion. It's called a Hansard proceedings, Hansard. It's a feature of our government. It's a feature of the Westminster style of government. And you can write to them and say, I want to see the discussion about the new firearms bill, or the new predial larceny bill, or whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be the bill. It could be after it's law. You could write them and say, I want to know about what was said, who said what. Now, I thought I could have gotten it online, but I ran into some problems. So then I had to do an ATI. And day before yesterday, today, it was Monday or Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, I think it was Monday. On Monday, the Parliament sent me the Hansard proceedings for the Integrity Commission Act. It's a discussion between the parliamentarians about what the act should look like, what they wanted in it. So when you read that, you can see them. You can figure out the mindset of the people involved, because they're actually discussing it. Like how we are talking now, they're actually discussing it, and somebody's actually, it's being recorded and it's being transcribed. So there you go. The Hansard, it gives clarity to the statute, because you will read or you will hear what they intended when they were drafting this bill. Because sometimes you read the bill, and that's how we end up in courts a lot, because we read the bill and there's some ambiguity, and then the question is, what was meant? What did the politicians mean when they drafted this bill? What did they intend to capture? And one way of knowing is to go back and read or listen to what they said. So On Monday, they sent me the one for the Integrity Commission Act. And I'm telling you, when you see what our Prime Minister said, when he sat down with the parliamentarians and they were talking about the bill, and he was talking about his vision of what it should be. He was talking about his hope to curb corruption in Jamaica. He was reflecting on the corruption index and other measurement tools to determine whether society is successful or not based on corruption. And when you read this thing and then you look at what he did, you're going to say to yourself, my goodness gracious, what a man. What a man. So we have that for you on Saturday. You're going to be glued to your device when we start show. He will be glued to, because we know that his supporters are watching, and some of them they're in his inner circle, and they'll tell him. So if he's not, he'll have people who will watch it and convey what's going on to him. And he can't run away, because this is not, no, what we're looking at now is not my interpretation of what somebody told me or what or my belief about a certain thing. No. What you will see and what you will hear, you will be words coming directly from the Prime Minister and others. You will see the document, the transcription of what was said. You will see. So please come prepared on Saturday. Come with your pen, come with your paper. You have to, because I want you to go back, if you so desire, and check what I'm giving you as facts. Check. Don't just take my word for it. I'm human. I can make mistakes, and I've made mistakes, and I will continue to make mistakes. So maybe I made a mistake. So I want you to look at what I'm presenting. I want you then to go and check, to confirm, to verify the things that I'm telling you. And then you can make up your mind. So we don't, all of the naysayers, we don't need to argue and fuss and fight and say me a bad mind and me a comrade and no, just look at what I'm presenting and examine it for yourself, and then you decide within your own heart, within your own mind, within your own soul. Just do that for me. Another thing that we're going to do on Saturday is we're going to examine the connection between Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith and onions. And you're saying, no, huh? What does she have to do with onions? You will find out on Saturday. It's going to be Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, the connection between the minister, onions, fertilizer. And we're going to show you the history of the Moroccan fertilizer. We talked about it already, but I'm going deep on Saturday. I don't want to miss this show, because you need to know the truth about onions and Jamaica. You need to know the truth about the Moroccan fertilizer. But beyond that, what you will see a pattern, and you will see a practice of how politicians do business in Jamaica, and how incurious we are, oblivious we are. Things happen, I would just name pay it no mind. You will see. And like I said, this is just to whet your appetite, because you're going to say, what does she have to do with onions? What does she have to do? Also, we'll show you what she has to do with farming, with agriculture. And you're gonna believe me. When I looked at the facts and I looked at the statements that she made, and I've spoken to some of her colleagues. And they've described her as arrogant, and they've described her as a perennial liar. I'm also going to show you when she had to apologize in the parliament about things that she said. And she said things about some other people that she, no apologies for those things. But I am going to bring this to your attention. And I don't know, big up yourself, Jeffrey Tavares, Mr. Vumpava Vumpavi. But they are talk to the people. And so I don't know what else June will have for me to talk about. Oh, on Saturday we have the small boss, the big boss, the real boss of Reggae Global Radio, Mrs. Jonah Marie Robinson. She will join us on Saturday. Talk about her life, talk about the radio station, talk about a few things. She'll share her wisdom with us. I think we have somebody else coming on as well. And then guess what? There's something I want to show you as well. Ashley Sauls, S-A-U-L-S, a politician from, you've seen him before in the program, not live, you've seen videos of him. I have a bit video. I was supposed to play it like last week or the week before. I'll play it. And again, this is just in the spirit of getting you to think clearly, think strategically, think wisely when you engage people, particularly when you engage politicians. And he will make a point. He's going to be talking about the hiring of foreign nationals versus the hiring of qualified foreign nationals versus the hiring of qualified South Africans in higher education. And it's a good discussion, but that's not the major point when you watch the video. The major point is, how do leaders act in times of crisis? How do you administer policies when the law is silent? And that's what's going on in Jamaica. That's what's going on. We're also going to talk about the Auditor General. Talk about what's going on with the position. And again, you're going to be amazed. Because like I've said, hey guys, I want him, but I cannot. That's what going from on. It seems to be big, but best friend. All right, ICM, big up yourself, big up yourself. Thank you for the time spent. Hope to see you soon. ICM. Oh, that's Dr. Ben. Okay, all right. So Dr. Ben won't be with us tonight. You see where it said his hotspot. Put it up again for me, please, OT. There it is. That's Dr. Ben. My hotspot going from my phone and it seems to be the best of our next week. I decided to travel on just an unforeseen emergency. All right, there you go. So Dr. Ben won't be with us tonight. So once we turn on the phone, just call me. We can talk. If I don't get any phone calls, then we'll end early. But so we're going to be talking about those things. And we're going to be talking about an article recently written by Jeanette Calder. I think it's called "If It's Not Broken, Don't Break It." And it has to do with the Auditor General's position on the Integrity Commission. And I'll summarize it for you. And I'll show you the arguments made by the politicians, because what they really want to get rid of It's not the position. Let's be clear. They really want to get rid of the auditor general, the person, but they can't. And I'll show you why they cannot get rid of her. And you know why they can't get rid of her? Because, and normally I don't do this, I don't describe people in this fashion, but sometimes it's warranted, because them a numbskull. Them a numbskull. Them don't know what them a do. Them a write laws, and nobody's looking down the road and say, what if? You know, sometimes people say you can what if something to death. Well, if there's a time for you to what if something to death, it's when you're trying to pass a law, because you're going to affect the lives of people now and hereafter until there's an amendment. So if there's a time to sit back and ponder and think prospectively, that's the time. And I'm going to show you how idiotic these people are, that they passed a law. When I say they passed a law, they agreed to it. They discussed it, they passed a law, and now the law come back for bite them. And what they want is get rid of the Auditor General, and they're so stupid. They're so foolish that the way they drafted the law, them can't get rid of her. They can't get rid of her without getting rid of the position. And that is what happened. And one senior politician told me, he said, it's not about the position, it's about the individual. A JLP, senior JLP person told me, because we had a conversation. You know, me talk to everybody, and we had a conversation, and I said to him, no, man, what you guys are doing not right. And I said, let me ask you a question. Is it about the position you want to get rid of, or is it really the person? And he said, it's the person. But they can't get rid of the person without getting rid of the position, because they drafted the law. Them so foolish. And believe me, I'm going to show you. And when I'm finished showing you, you can go out now and you can have all of these conversations. And I want you to build on the information I'm passing on to you. I just don't want you to take it and then just sit on it and then say, well, Rattigan said. I want you to go out and do a little research and build on it. Build on it. But going back to Ashley Sauls, the South African parliamentarian, when you listen to the questioning, and the person that he was questioning is no dummy. She tried and tried and tried, and everywhere she turned, she got cornered. And in the end, at the very end, he's going to make the point I'm trying to illustrate. So you need to show up on Saturday for that discussion. Is onions and potatoes short in Jamaica? And Kamina Smith is lying about it. Look, wait there. See me have my things in I know. I don't know if I can see some of them things. Labor force and employed labor force. Because she make a statement about onions. She make a statement about farmers. And I'm going to show you that this woman cannot be trusted with the truth. She cannot be trusted with the truth, because if you give her the truth, she going to twist it. She going to twist it. Is onions and potatoes short in Jamaica? You know, Prince Ella, we're going to show you an article where somebody came up and somebody wrote to the Minister Floyd Green, and said to him, Minister Floyd Green, if there's a glut of onions on the market, locally produced onions, why is it that we're importing onions? Why? Why? And there's no answer. And then she start talking about, I don't want to get to it, on the tune in Saturday. Because and I know that there will be detractors, naysayers, people saying, oh, and you know what they do? When they can't deal with the truth, them say, Rattigan carry belly for the government of Jamaica. I'm kind of get the job, that's why. And the question I ask them is that, pretend I never applied for the job. What I'm saying, is it false? Is it something that the people of Jamaica should know about? And conversation over. It's finished. It's finished. Because what they must tell me is that you carry belly and you tell lie. That's what that makes sense. You carry belly and so you tell lie. But if you carry belly and you tell the truth, and the truth not have nothing to do with your belly, then it's neither here nor there. Truth is an offense, but never a sin. Big up yourself, Bob Marley. And so that is what's going on with these folks. Them just can't stand the truth. Cannot stand the truth. And so they'll come at me and they'll come at you and they'll come. You see such a big farm, I'm sorry, onion should not be selling at 600. You wait, man. You wait, Merle. Wait till Saturday. You wait till Denise, you buy onion and it was imported. See? See? And they might talk about all of these things. And guess what? Guess what? There is a section of the Auditor's General Report talking exclusively about the onion market in Jamaica. And nobody no read it. Nobody no read it. Because me should get up in the parliament and talk. I mean, you're no challenge. No challenge when she start talking. Say, hey, oh, we might have Lambert Brown this Saturday. He's the one who raised the issue about the drill. And he's the one who caused Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith to make the statements last week, Friday. He's the one who caused it. Because he was talking about something and then he started, comparing and contrast the predial larceny thing with the distribution of the Moroccan fertilizer. And then she come out and say stuff. But you see a lot of stuff, and I was hoping that somebody would have challenged her, but they didn't. Mark Golden said he drafted the IC law and Andrew passed it. Yes and no. The whole idea of the Integrity Commission Act started before Mark Golding. He contributed to it. He worked on it. But it didn't start with him and it didn't end with him. It actually started under JLP-led government. And then Mark Golding took it, ran with it. And then when they lost in 2016, the JLP continued. And they continued with a flawed act. I am going to show you, and I've spoken about it. I've spoken about it, but I don't know how many people listen, but I will continue to shout until most of you get it. I am going to show you 2 loopholes. And this is confirmation. When I read the act, I saw them. I saw the loopholes. I saw more than 2, lots. But there are 2 that I saw that jumped out at me. And the Hansard proceedings that I will present to you on Saturday, you will hear Minister Delroy Chuck and others talking about the loopholes. Talking about the loopholes before the bill became law. And guess what? The loopholes remained. They're part of the law right now. They didn't take them out. And in fact, one politician used the word loophole when they were discussing the loopholes. Princella, big up yourself. The truth will kill people, Princella. Lie will kill people too, but truth will remain forever. Oh, Sam Allen say you tell them to leave community. Well, yeah, so you know, there's a part in that report from the Auditor General that speaks to, there's a part that speaks to the yam production. There's a part that speaks to the onion production, and I forgot the other produce that the Auditor General dealt with. But it's not what the program as audited by the Auditor General is not the same thing that they're talking about. It's like chalk and cheese. When you look at it, you said to yourself, then how come the minister could say this? But then I'm looking over here and I saw somebody who audited the ministry of agriculture, and the report is markedly different. How? And then when you go and you look at Sita, when you go and you look at some of the things she said, let me see if I find it. I don't want Gito because I want all of you to tune in on Saturday. I don't want you to say, well, somebody tell you. I don't want that. I want you to say, well then, boy, you know, I listened, I took notes, and I confirmed that what Mr. Rattigan said is true. So that is what I plan to do on Saturday. I'm just looking at some notes I made here. And then also to be fair, I'm going to talk to you about the Auditor General and where she failed. She, and I'll tell you this. She has been threatened. Her life is in jeopardy. I wouldn't trade places with her because she has to look over her shoulders right now. We should all pray for her. But she made some mistakes. But the mistakes are understandable. I'm not going to crucify her for her mistakes. But I need all of you to know that not everything that you see will reflect what should have been done. So you'll see the reports and everything like that. But then I want you to realize that there are things that weren't done. But we understand. We understand that she's been threatened. But I just need you to know this. And then you can offer your sympathies, you can offer your concerns and all of that about what's going on with her. Can she do her job off the island? That's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, Freedom, because it requires presence. It requires because what they do is they actually go out, you know. They actually, oh yeah, I'll soon turn it on. They actually go out and they actually do audits. They actually do on-site inspections. So I don't think that she could do her job remotely. Because and I tell you what, she is one of the most experienced persons in that field in Jamaica, if not the most experienced. She's been around for quite some time. And the thing is, now they're coming after her. And guess what? This lady has been producing her reports for many, many, many years. And so if you could ask yourself, then why is it that they're going after her now? No, she have some police protection. I've been told, Freedom. But it's not announced. So now everybody know. But the people who are trying to do harm to her, they know too, because them see her and them see all of the protection around her. So her reports were always done, and were always done in a timely fashion. The problem for them now, and you say, this is where stupidity reigns. They're going after her, and she's been providing these reports for years and years and years. And surely they must realize that. Freedom, some look like my happy. All right, me tell her Freedom. But surely they must realize that it's not the reports, it's the spotlight on the reports. And where's the spotlight coming from? It's coming from people like you, me, all the people on social media trying to expose the corruption going on in government. To a lesser extent, mainstream media. Oh, you say, yeah, look at me like Mappy. Looking at you like Mappy. Okay. So that is the problem. That is the problem. The problem for them is not the reports, but them so stupid. They want to get rid of the lady. They want to get rid of this lady, this distinguished, intelligent woman. They want to get rid of her, and she's doing nothing different than what she used to do before. She continues to provide her reports. That's all. But it's now that we are reading the reports. We weren't reading these reports. I remember I sat down with a gentleman, the same gentleman who told me that Jamaica is content rich. He said to me when I was asking him about content, he added, he said, all you need to do is go to JAMP's website, NIA's website, the Integrity Commission's website, the Auditor General's website, and the Financial Investigations Division's website. And he said, if you go to those 5 websites, you will have so much work. You won't need people to come and tell you anything. All that would have been done because the reports encapsulates information provided by sources. And whoever's coming after the Auditor General, she should come out and talk if she knows who's trying in case something like that. Princella, that's an important point. But I don't know. Maybe she did report it, but it's not made public. But she's not the only one getting threats, you know. She's not the only one. Think about all the strong, intelligent, courageous black women in Jamaica, the ones who are speaking out loudly. They're all being targeted. They're all getting, and you see them on the program. They come on the program on a Saturday. And they tell me they all get death threats. They all get death threats. So that's what's going on, Princella. All right, listen. OT, I asked her to turn on the phone. I know in OT, when she tell me something, you better listen. If me know it good for me. Because she's the second coming on my P. So let me just. And one of them day, I bring on another mother, you know, Margene from Fort Lauderdale. I bring on Margene so I can meet Margene too. All right, people, look, the phone line is open. The number to call. Okay. Caller, good night. Welcome to Come Reason with Rattigan. Where
Mr. Rattigan,
are you calling from?
Philadelphia, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Rattigan, I listening to you talking about the Auditor General who has been threatened. And there are more strong ladies who have been threatened. Now, Mr. Rattigan, let me turn down this other phone, please. Hold on. Because I hear it coming. Hold on, please. Let me turn down this other phone, please. Hold on. Because I hear it.
Miss Philly.
Okay.
Miss Philly, why
Yes.
would you call me always have your device turned up loud? You need that hearing. You wear hearing
I'm
aid.
listening on one and doing something on the
wear-
other
you
one
wear-
close
you wear-
by.
Oh, so you know we're hearing aid, right?
No,
Okay, all right, good. Go ahead,
no,
please.
I don't like those things in my ears.
Oh, you tried them already?
Yeah, I just can't take nothing
So you have a
plugged in
hearing
my ear.
problem. You have a hearing problem. Why would you try hearing aid if you don't have a hearing problem?
Pardon me?
Why would you try a hearing aid if you don't have a hearing problem?
No,
Drop me a
no,
bit,
I
man.
don't
Drop me a
use
bit. Drop me
nothing
a
like
bit.
that, Mr. Rattigan.
Drop me a bit, Miss Philly. Go ahead.
Nothing, I don't.
Go ahead.
I just don't like the feeling in my
Miss
ears.
Philly, I'm just kidding, man. Just go ahead,
Okay.
please.
All right. Yeah. So, Mr. Rattigan, no, this lady's given a job and she's doing her work and she's doing it honestly. What you I just asking the question in general. Why should she be threatened? No, this is what the JP government keep doing to people, threatening them when they come out strong against wrongdoing and corruption. And we have seen it times and times again. And this must stop. This must be made public. They are given a job to do, and they're doing their job. And they're doing their job honestly, the way it must be done. They are on the other side of corruption. They are corrupted. So when they do their jobs wrong and they're being highlighted, just like with the IC, they don't want that to happen. They don't want to be exposed. The bottom line is, you don't want to be exposed. Everyone is not going to be in the corruption. Put their character on the line like the others have been doing right now. Then they're going to be threatened, Mr. Rattigan. What kind of world is this? What kind of society is Jamaica having there? Portraying? It can't work. And if I were her, I would make sure. Yes, she said she has reported it, but I think more deeper, more profoundly, this must be known that in case anything should happen to her, everybody know who is responsible. Is there like an international body that she could report this to Mr. Rattigan as well? Because Jamaica needs some strength. Jamaica needs that. It's too much of a walk over with this government, this type of attitude and behavior. It can't work, man. It can't work. That has to go. People must be bullied and threatened for doing the right thing to cover his dirtiness. No, Mr. Rattigan, talk to me now, please.
Okay.
Talk to me.
All right. I'm gonna let me talk to you, please. And as you know, you can always call back. All right.
Okay.
All right. Miss Philly asked. Miss Philly said that the government is responsible for the threats against her. That I can't confirm. What I can confirm is, or what I can tell you is that I was told by people close to her that she received threats. They didn't tell me who threatened her, but I think you will appreciate where the threats would likely come from. But at this point, we can only surmise because I was not told that it was the government people. But again, you can surmise where the threats came from. The other point Miss Philly made was that she had reported it. I don't know if she reported it. I am saying that she should have reported it. She should have reported it. And the third point Miss Philly made was, is there an international body that we can complain to, or the Auditor General could complain to and deal with this? And the answer to that is, yeah, you can complain, but it's a local matter. It's a local matter. And who do you complain to? The FBI, Homeland Security, the UN, CARICOM, who? Because if you complain to them, the question then becomes, what can they do about it in terms of an investigation? And the answer is going to be nothing, because Jamaica technically speaking, is an independent and sovereign country. And no country can send representatives to Jamaica to get involved in a local investigation without being invited by the government. That's the way it works. Now we have people who do things undercover and all that. That's a completely different conversation. That's something that's happening below the radar. But for something that's happening above the radar or on the radar, where the person is going to go out and then ask for assistance or for protection, she's going to hear that it's a local matter. So therefore, you need to report that to your local police and authorities and have them look into it. So I hope I answer all of your three issues, Ms. Philly. And if you have more, please feel free, call. And if you don't think I answer them correctly, you need clarification, then of course, you know the number. You can call me anytime. So again, folks, the number is 667-369-8569. Cannabis says, if we are to bring about a change, it takes courage, because it can cost you your life. Who's willing to sacrifice them life for the future of our children? Cannabis, yeah. That's reality. But there was a reality where people did this. People like Paul Bogle, people like Marcos, people like George William Garden, people who fought, people like Nani, Kodjo, all kinds of people, our ancestors. They did that. And it's not easy. It takes a special breed to stand up and say, I don't care. The issue is bigger than me. And I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight the issue. And let me be absolutely clear. When we say fight, we're not talking about a physical fight or something illegal. We're talking about action within the confines of the law. We don't believe in breaking laws around here. If you feel like a law is unfair or unjust, there are ways to get that law repealed and replaced or amended. And we're saying, go that route. So that's why I'm saying we people have to get up and they have to fight, Don, you're right. Martin Luther King, for those of us who live in this country, in America, Malcolm X and others. Where's the OT? The freedom we're seeking is mental liberation, tied to political tribalism and not humanity. Yeah, some of us we had peace, no good. We're willing slaves. What about Interpol? No, Trish, that's a different angle. That's a different, and I'm glad you raised that, because you can't talk to international organizations about corruption in Jamaica, because there are international organizations who actually document stuff going on in Jamaica. And that's how we end up with the corruption index. That's how we end up, losing 4 points from 40 to 40, 44 to 40. Right? There are agencies that you can talk to outside of Jamaica. And in fact, some of them have representation in Jamaica, but they will not get involved in the investigation. They will not say, okay, give us your complaint, we're going to investigate and we're going to get to the bottom of this and we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because they do so only at the pleasure of the Jamaican government, whatever they do, above board. So, what Joey Block said, mentally they have been taking a beating from 28. Fear is the order of the day in Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they talk about the freedom of the press. We know that the press is not free in Jamaica. We know this. And we know that they have some technology that is being used against the people of Jamaica. Because when the Prime Minister can say, hey, you know, we know that you're out there doing this and that, and we know how to find you. And then they find you. And then they parade you. And then have you apologize to the Prime Minister when they should be out there tracking, tracing, capturing criminals. They don't know how to do that. But they know how to find you if you ever criticize the Prime Minister. I guess they figure that your mouth is more dangerous than a gun. So they prioritize the gunmen as number 2, but they'll prioritize people who speak freely and openly about the government as number 1, as if you have committed a crime. That's how but don't give up, people. Don't give up. Things are difficult before. Things seem difficult before they become easy. So it looked like, you know, it's an uphill struggle and you'll never get to the summit. But trust me, somebody once told me, they said that the difference between a coward and a courageous person is patience. Because they said, you know, when you're going through that struggle, if you just continue, just be patient and continue, you'll get there. But a coward look and say, no, sir, this not look like, say, you're going to make it. And then they retreat. So, the phone, again, people, the phone line is open. Phone line is open. 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. Let me see what else was there that we talked about last night. We're talking about the education system, how they've been robbing and raping and pillaging the education system and the poor children of Jamaica. That's why we're not doing as well as we should on the examinations that the students are sitting. Because the money that should be there to pay for teachers and the resources has disappeared. But if you notice, I didn't say disappear without a trace. Yeah, we trace it. It disappeared, but we know where the money go. Mr. G said the 300 pay raise is a disaster. The aftermath now comes in effect. Yeah, because remember what he said. He said the pay raise was to attract the best and brightest to come and serve in the government. And who have we gotten? Certainly not the best. Certainly not the brightest. Doris, I wonder if Mark will adopt Ibrahim's style of leadership. Unlikely. Because you know why? Because the system of government is different. Caller, good night. Welcome to Come Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Good night, Sir Rattigan. This is Miss P. Calling out of Jamaica.
Miss P. Everything you good?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but let's sign us in those about be good, man.
Okay.
You know, sometimes when we sit down in our own element and look around me and the future. No, this is lovely lady, Pamela Manuel. Look how she have been doing her job so good, not biased. And now she have been looking over her shoulder. That is surely the type of governance that in our country. And I wonder if all the females But them both in the government. If they not see something wrong with that. The lady been doing her job so well. You go put yourself in a fire. You must get investigated to know how far the fire burn. Don't it?
Yes.
If a first degree, second degree burn. And that's her job you doing. If you never put the foot in a fire, make fire burn, you should not investigate you. So leave the lady alone. And Mr. Prime Minister, sir, this is all these things that is going on. These are the little things that make people turning away from us. Because who to tell if our granddaughter or niece wouldn't be the next Pamela Monroe? And we wouldn't want our children to be a look over our shoulder for doing a good job. A job to serve our country, sir. Sir, what you have done to this country, it's untenable. And I was looking at some post, some link from Upper Isaac. Wonderful meeting. But at the same time, persons up there deliberately in a daylight and deface the man paraphernalia avant film green color in a daylight. Brazen.
What am I doing?
Yes, spray up Isaac them.
Oh, they want to deface them.
Deface them. And them now hide. Because I believe now one of them, Ishmael, was to see them and them are telling his father to go do with the mother as whatever. And why you have to come up on TikTok and say, I have my shop and you come and put your thing funny. And everybody knows them a PMP and then put them in funny man shop. The man will take off. It is there. And I want them to stop it. No, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Commissioner of Police, PSOJ, church, all only not see that these things are wrong. Only not see that these things are wrong. This is the reason, Mr. Chuck. You know, see that them are something wrong when I look political war like in the 1980s. And that you know look the country going a war and try to do something to stir up problem. That's the election, no call. You know, stop it, man. Before you try to make up and mend things with the Jamaican people, you know, bring more war and violence, you know, divide people more. Down to the one dieted labor rights, you know, upset. Because when the war starts, labor rights are dead and PMP are dead. People don't want a war, people just want a true transition, sir. Just stop it. It does not look good. And for you young men, the security one will drive the van and the water, because them are describing, you know. I ask you know, as an older woman than you know, presume to be. Just stop, look, listen, ask yourself this. Would you like to go down in this on the wrong side? Do you have what the vases them have? Do you can accomplish half of them wealth what they have? Do your name is big like their name? Do you have a visa, sir? Do you own a piece of land, a house? And most important, sir, do you have kids? You know, a young, bright Jamaican man with future. Stop it. Do not make a person or two persons who have money buy you out to the foolishness. Respect your life. Your mom gave carry you for 9 months, give birth to you. And if your mom is still alive, even if she's dead, she wants you to become something good in life. Do not make PMP, MP, JLP, MP, no P at all. Make you do foolishness. Stop it. Stop it, young men. I call upon you. Stop it. This rock is yours and your children. Don't make a belly full or a food. Make you do foolishness. Because if you continue to do it and you get something and you want to hold it, if you get a prison sentence and you want to go get it, if you end up in the hospital and you want to go do it. Think, young man, I call upon you in Jamaica. Please, me I beg you, stop it. And I call upon the governing party. The commissioner of police, stop it. Go out and talk to the people them. Please call up the politician them, PMP and Labour, have a meeting, sign a code of conduct or what you call it, that these things stop happening. Please, for God's sake. Yes, Mr. Ratty.
All right, Miss P. I hear
Yeah,
you.
man, this don't look good.
All right. I'm going to grab a caller,
All
but
right.
thanks for the input, all right?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. Caller, good night. Welcome to Conversation, Ms. Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Hello, Mr. Rattigan. How are you tonight, sir?
Yeah, all right, sir.
You're doing a wonderful job, Mr. Rattigan.
Me and you, sir.
Boy, when I sit down and listen to you here in Jamaica, Mr. Rattigan, this Prime Minister, Mr. Rattigan, has to go, sir. He's a wicked man. I can hardly buy a loaf of bread, Mr. Rattigan. My God Almighty, what's going on in this country, Mr. Rattigan?
You're there. You know what's going on.
Mr. Rattigan, I heard, did you see the news about the Integrity Commission? The fake news said that they cut off everything now, Mr. Rattigan. Did you see it, sir?
No, tell me about it. What happened?
Apparently said there'd be no more investigation, Mr. Rattigan.
Did they say why?
Everything is cut off now. They didn't say why at all, Mr. Rattigan. But I heard Senator Scott Murphy on your friend's program earlier on, she said nothing like that, Mr. Rattigan.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we can ferret out fake news as quickly as they can put the fake news out so that it doesn't infect our supporters, our people.
Indeed.
We have that.
Indeed, Mr. Rattigan, but I must commend you on the job you're doing, my son.
Well,
you came from Waterhouse, some humble beginning. You know what it's like to eat dirty girl. And you don't forget that at all, Mr. Rattigan.
Oh, sir, I would prefer if you say I like to eat mackerel and tin.
Oh, mackerel, yes, mackerel, yes, sir. Mackerel, tin mackerel, yes, sir. You're very good. You're a very humble young man, Mr. Rattigan. And I must commend you on what you're doing. May God bless and keep you all, Mr. Rattigan.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night, sir.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yes, that was our dear friend. You know him, you love him. Was it Beat and Teach? Somebody had mentioned about Ronnie Tweets and said that the PNP is responsible for the greatest transfer of power or wealth to the poor. And he's asking me to comment on it. I would love to, but I didn't hear the speech. I haven't read the speech. I must admit, I know nothing about it. So I would have to go and do a little bit of research before I can answer you. So, megawatt. So, yeah, so regarding the Ronnie Tweets statement, can't answer that. I don't have any comments because I'm unfamiliar with the speech or the utterances or that particular utterance. In fact, I don't know much about the gentleman because let me be honest with you, people. My interest in doing this came about just a few years ago. Because before that, I was busy doing other things and I wasn't focused on Jamaica. It was when I started looking at the deep suffering of our people. And I used to sit in the diaspora and I used to criticize Jamaica and Jamaicans. And I had an epiphany. I said, well, wait a minute. Instead of criticizing them, why don't I try to help? Why don't I try to educate? Why don't I try to mobilize? Why don't I try to inspire? That's a better path to take than one where you criticize and you condemn. That's destructive. That's not progressive. And I came to that realization and started doing this just a few years ago. Some of you, in fact, started with me a few years ago, and you can vouch for the things I'm saying. Some of you who joined late, you may have thought that, hey, Rattigan's been doing this for a while. But no, I have not been doing this for a while. What I've been doing over the past few years since I started is to invest time. But I don't know everything. And in fact, I shouldn't even say it like that, because it sounds like, if not me, there are people out there who know everything. No, we don't know everything. And just like Beat and Teach asked me about Ronnie Twit, I don't know about Ronnie Twit. So now I have to go carve out some time and go read something about Ronnie Twit. And I don't know when I'll do. Definitely not this week. Definitely not this week. But like I said before, one of the worst enemies of this government is anybody with time who has courage and who has the wherewithal to research and to present to our people. The worst thing for them. I have the time. I'll make the time. That's what I'm doing. I'm making, because you always have a choice. You can do this or you can do that. I've chosen to do this. And one of the things that warms my heart and inspires me to continue is appreciation from people like Elaine, who just said, I've learned so much on your program. You know what that did to me? But that, you don't understand, people, but what that did to me, it made me want, it made me not want, it made me go harder. Because I said, I can't afford to feel our people. And believe me, I am going to make mistakes. I have made mistakes. And all I ask for you to do is to support me by saying you made a mistake and you need to do a course correction. Don't coddle me, and don't hide the fact that I came up short. I will come up short, and when I do, I expect you to hold me accountable and say, this one right here, this one, you didn't do such a good job on this one. This one here is you need to do some more work on it. And so I'm not afraid of saying I'm wrong, I made a mistake, and I'll try hard, I'll correct my mistake. I'm not afraid of doing that. In fact, I was taught that by my parents, and it was reinforced by the FBI. I remember when I used to go to those meetings, those 7:30 meetings, when I used to be involved in, anti-terrorism initiatives, and I used to run the intelligence section. And we used to sit at this big table, and we had a boss who was just a taskmaster. And I learned the hard way. It was embarrassing. I got some lashings, but it has made me, it has contributed to who I am. Because I remember one morning, he asked about some issue. And I said to him, yes, agent so-and-so and analyst so-and-so, they're working on it. And I didn't get the response or whatever. And I remember he cleared the room. And he said to me, you stay behind. And he said, you don't ever come to my meeting and blame anyone within the realm of your responsibility. Anyone that you're responsible for them, but you're not responsible for them here. You're responsible for you and the program here. So what I want to hear is that he said, I want to hear the pronoun. I did not do it. And you take your lashings. And then you leave this room and then you go find the people who work for you and then you lash them. And I tell you that those days, this was what, 2005, 6, 7. Yeah, 2005, 2006, 2007. Yeah. I think early part of 2008. But we get some lashings. I used to get some, and in fact, one of the guys who was in charge of he was in charge of he was the assistant special agent in charge of the criminal program. What's his name? Nippon? Can't remember Nippon. And we were out one time and he said to me, he said, I've never seen anyone take an ass whipping like Rattigan. And I was there and he said, and they're all laughing because they said, man, they're ripping to you all the time, man. And you just sit there and you don't get upset. You don't get flustered. You take it. And he said, I'm going to do better, sir. And you leave and you go do what you have to do and come back. But I learned a hell of a lot about leadership in New York. Because it's a tough place to work. I enjoyed it immensely. But you are going to make mistakes if you work in New York. Take it from me. In a high pressure situation, you're going to make mistakes. And even if you don't make mistakes, mistakes will be visited upon you. Because somebody, hey, let me tell you something. I learned so much about politics in New York within the FBI. Just how people politic and how people maneuvered and all that stuff. Learned a hell of a lot. And so I want to give you, my people, the benefit of my experience because there's so much up here. But I also want you to treat me as an equal. I don't want you to treat me as a superior or as a subordinate. Just treat me as an equal so that we can talk to each other. We don't talk over, we don't talk around each other. And when I make my mistakes, I expect and I demand that you correct me. Don't worry about my feelings. My feelings have nothing to do with this. It's about getting the information, the correct information in a timely fashion to our people so that they can do something with it. So promise me that. And that's why I want you to listen to me carefully when I say things, because I want you to come back to me and say, you know, I listened to you carefully and you made a mistake. I just don't want you to listen to me and you just listen like you listen to some music. There's a saying, I'm paraphrasing now, that when times are good, you dance to the rhythm. When times are bad, you listen to the words. Yes. So I need you to keep me in check. So, Rattigan for DPP. Them know if they make me DPP, first of all, I don't qualify right now. But if they ever qualify, they make me DPP. It's worse. You know what happened? They made promises. Actually, both parties made promises to the diaspora, and they've said, diaspora, you should be on boards in Jamaica, and you should also sit in the Senate. And when I hear not more about it, empty promises. Well, actually, Mark Golan just mentioned it because Mark Golan has never been through an election as leader of the opposition. This is his first time. So we can't give him a pass. He just said that. But Andrew Holness, when he was a candidate back in 2015 and 2016, say yes, diaspora, boom, don't forget a seat. And he continued to say that. And here we are, no seat, no plans for us to occupy a seat there. But if them ever give me a seat, if God ever smile upon me and them say, yeah, Rattigan, are you, we want to come sit down in the Senate, yeah. Believe me, a whole heap of straightening out are going. When you think you hear nothing yet, I didn't know that I hear and see things. Didn't know that I hear and see things. But, you know, as Isaac says, God and time. We shall see. We will continue to burn the fire. Actually, we will continue to burn the coal. Because without the coal, you can't get the fire. Coal we are burning around here. And we're doing this so that people can understand and people can, the poor people of Jamaica, them can enjoy life just as much as the person up on the hill. Call a good night. Welcome to Come Reasons, Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Yes, Mr. Rattigan. You know the voice already. I need not say where I'm from.
All right.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
All right?
Yes.
Sorry to cut you. You could answer the question there after you finish what you were saying.
Okay.
Now, when we look back on what's going on in Jamaica and the situation right now and so on, if you were in Mr. Golding's Mr. Golding's position and winning the election, what would be your primary focus of attention for the country of Jamaica?
Okay. That's a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, that's it right now. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hang up and let me answer you, please.
Okay.
All right. That's an interesting question. Interesting question from the perspective that how would I prioritize things in Jamaica? That's a very complex question. It sounds simple, but it's not that simple. Because there are many, many moving parts that you'd have to arrange. There are many things you'd have to do to, I mean, I could just say, yeah, priorities, crime, the economy, education, housing, infrastructure, health, I could say, but the way that I function is different than the way other people function. The way that you function is different than the way that other people function. What do I mean by that? Meaning that not only is that question interesting, complex, but it's also difficult to answer on the fly. Here's why. When you're talking about a country that is beset with all the problems that we have now, it takes more than one person to prioritize your efforts to right the country, to set things straight. If I were Mark Golding, this is what I would be doing now when I go out and have these meetings. I would be sitting with communities and say, okay, what are your priorities? Because guess what? The priorities of the country should be the priorities coming from the community, not the priorities coming from me. This is about a country, not about an individual. And so I would have to get the input from the communities. And so every one of them 62 there, where I look at see it in my party, they would be required to have meetings with the community in preparation for the election and beyond to say, Because listen, the issues affecting Portmore, I would submit to you that they're not the same issues affecting Port Antonio. One size does not fit all. So I would have to have, the people working alongside me query their communities to say, okay, what is it that you don't have right now that you would like to have, or you'd like to have more of what you have? Let's talk. You galvanize the communities and you collect and collate all of these priorities. And then you have to sit and look at what your resources are. You can make all the promises in the world, but if you don't have the money to make them happen, guess what? You're going to be seen as no different than wholeness. You make promises and you don't fulfill them. So I've heard people say, when you get in, you have to start, do your audit, you have to do your audit. No. Guess what? There's an auditor in Jamaica, you know. There's an auditor general. There's an office. I would have people, young people, the youth organizations, I would have them attached to certain ministries and working out, just touching base, coordinating with organizations like JAMP, NIA, organizations like the Auditor General, to say, let's look at some of these ministries, because guess what? It doesn't make sense for you to reinvent the wheel. Some of these audits have been done already. Some of these audits were done last year. So they're quite recent. Some of them were done this year. So you go through and you look and you say, okay, these are some of the problems we're going to be having, blah, blah, blah. I would have somebody looking at the money. Because if you go inside there blindly, I want to say blindly, not at the time you're going in, but you're blind now, and you're going to be blind when you get there. So we need people to focus on the money right now. So this is that 3 trillion. There should be somebody looking at the reports, but because here's what happened. You see that 3 trillion abbreviated report. Where do you think that came from? That came from the Auditor General. JAMP sat down, went through all of the reports, tallied up everything and said, okay, this is what we have. We have $3 trillion unaccounted for. But it didn't start with JAMP. It started with the Auditor General. And this is what I did, because the one with the Tertiary Commission and the Ministry of Education, it's mentioned in JAMP's report, but it's the Reader's Digest version. It's an abbreviated thing. So what did I do? I went and I pulled the report from the Auditor General. And I learned so much more that you didn't find in JAMP, because remember, no, JAMP was not there to regurgitate everything from the Auditor General's report. JAMP was just there to give you headlines and to get the juices flowing in you that would compel you to then go and look at the original reports. So that's what I would be looking at these reports as well, to prepare myself to going in, because you don't want to go in and then you start prepare when you go in. You start prepare from now. So, Miss Philly, to answer your question, what would my priorities be? It's difficult for me to tell you what the priorities would be. I know what the issues are now. But because I don't have the information that's necessary to do a prioritization of the issues, it's difficult for me to answer. Because you'd have to do all of these things. You'd have to deal with the communities. You'd have to deal with these organizations. You'd have to sit down with your team and say, okay, what are the things that are significantly affecting our people? Because all of these things are affecting our people. But remember, you're going to prioritize. And then once we come up with a priority list, and that priority list, you need to have that before you even take over the reins of government. You can't take over the reins of government and then start, because you know why? Remember, it's 5 years. And before you look around, it will be year 3, year 4. And what you don't want to have happen is, we need to learn from history so that we don't make the same mistakes or commit the same acts or be perceived in a particular manner. I say that to say this. In 2016, promises were made by the Jamaica Labour Party to the people of Jamaica and the diaspora. And here we are, 2025, and some of those 2016 promises have not been fulfilled. And depending on who you talk to, those were significant promises. You don't want to take office and end up with a situation like that. And that's why when we had Philip Pollen on the program last week, the point I was trying to make, and unfortunately, a few of you, just a few of you, didn't spot what I was trying to do. And you should have if you watch the program on a regular basis. And the point I was trying to make to him is that when you campaign and you put out a manifesto, the impression is that the promises will be fulfilled in 5 years. That's the impression. Now, it's true that not everything that's promised will be completed in 5 years. So what do? This is where community and their representative must have an intersection. They must have a discussion. They must have a point where they meet. And that's why I urge all of these communities to have community meetings with their politicians every 4 months or so. And the politician should be required to say what he or she did, is doing, plan to do, and they must also talk about what they didn't do and their plans to accomplish that in the near term. Because you don't want, as we have now, you don't want to have 9 years down the road, people tell you that, oh, what we promised you in 2016, it's aspirational. It's something that we hope to do, something that we wanted to do, but something that we haven't done yet. Because think about it. If they had told you in 2016 that, when they told you in 2016 that they were going to solve your water problems, you didn't think that it was going to take 2025 and your water problems still not solved. You thought, hey, the election cycle is 5 years. So whatever they're telling us now, they're not telling us for 2 election cycles, for 15 years down the road. No, they're telling us that they're going to do it now. Why? Because it's our priority. And that's why I go back to saying you have to get the communities involved. Strike. The communities must get involved because the politicians will not involve the community. It's against their interest. Them don't want you telling them what they should do for you. They want to tell you what they're going to do for you, and then they'll do it at their leisure. That is a community that has surrendered. And sad to say, many, if not all, communities in Jamaica have surrendered. And that's why we need a sea wave change in the way we think. We have become complicit over the decades. We are willing slaves to the system. And until we realize that the power is in our hands, we will continue to be a slave to the system. And it's not even so, to a degree, it's the personality of the politician. But I think it's primarily the system. They get inside of the system and they realize that they can take advantage of you. And they take advantage of you because you allow them to take advantage of you. You allow them. And so the time is fast approaching when you will be given a t-shirt, a box of food, and some money. Not enough money, not enough clothing, not enough food. But you will be given that small morsel and told to cast your vote for somebody who is going to ignore you for the next 4 years plus. And then you wonder why politics is at the stage it's in Jamaica. It's because you have surrendered. And when you surrender, what do you become? When you surrender, you become a prisoner of those who have captured you. And do prisoners have power? In the main, no. Occasionally, you'll find prisoners who wield a tremendous amount of power, like a Nelson Mandela, who the bars could not hold him. The guards could not hold him. Why? Because he was not thinking about self. He was thinking about his fellow man and woman and ideas. But those people are rare. We need some rare people in Jamaica. The time is here. We need some rare people. We need some people who will go out there and do what's necessary to mobilize the community. Get the politician in check. How come the politician don't come around every month and give you $5,000 and a 2-piece chicken and a t-shirt? And how come that not happen? Him give you 5,000 and him get a job for 500,000 million. That makes sense? And that's why they will continue to do the things they're doing, because they've realized that, hey, by and large, the communities have surrendered. They're idiots. They're controlled. They can be bought. And if you can be bought, you can be sold. And you can be sold a bill of goods. You can be sold promises. You can be sold dreams. But they will never sell you reality, except when they're making promises to you. They'll say, we know the suffering, my people, and you vote for me, and we're going to be doing this and doing that. See them a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. They won't identify with your reality. They identify with your reality when it's in their interest. And their interest comes around once every 5 years. And you know, some people have said to me, you know, you're preaching to the deaf. People have said that. And my response is, they may have acted like they're deaf, but they're listening. The trick for me is not to shout as if you had a hearing and try and get you. The trick for me is how do you convert what you're listening to into tangible action? How do you convert that into tangible community action? How? That's the trick. Talking to you is easy. Getting you to act on what you've heard, that's difficult. But I will continue as long as I believe that I can get through to at least one person. I will continue. And so when you send me messages, folks, telling me that I've learned so much, that is a step in the right direction. Have we arrived at our destination? No, but we're on our way. We're on our way. You can be ambitious, but don't be greedy. It's like somebody give you $10 when you expect 100. You have to be thankful. Don't be greedy, because guess what? You have $10 more than you had. You have $10 more than you had. You expected 100, you got 10. Fine. So, freedom said our ancestors were unwilling slaves, and now their generation have become willing slaves. All those lives, that's what we could do. Yeah, man. We're willing slaves. Willing slave. You know, I tell you something. I've had this conversation many, many times. And I had it last night, again, with somebody who is in the know. And the conversation is something like this. You know, a lot of these politicians, you see them on stage, you see them in parliament or whatever, and they're yelling and screaming and carrying on and putting on a show. But see them later. You're like peas in a pod. They get along very well. They go to the same lodge, same country club, same church. Some of them went to the same school. Their children go to good schools. And in fact, some of them are related to each other. Juxtapose that, compare and contrast that to people in the garrison now. We take up arms against each other. We say vicious, nasty things about each other, relatives and neighbors and friends, on behalf of these people who live comfortable lives. Don't have to worry about what's for breakfast, what's for lunch, what's for dinner, how the bills are going to be paid. And instead of us uniting for our common cause, they have given us the mentality of crabs in a barrel. And none of we are going to get out. Because when one, I try to pull him down. We never ever think about pooling our resource far beyond political ideology and affiliation. Talking about now as a community. We never quite seem to get it right. to say, we are the sufferers. We never seem to get it right. Because of our willing slave mentality. And it's easy to feed that mentality. Quite easy. All you have to do is play favorites. Pit them against each other. You would think you can pit the politicians against each other. Them pit you against each other. You can't pit them against each other. You can't. Because you don't think like that. They won't let you think like that. And therein lies the problem. Because you let them think for you. That's why. There's no way you should have a politician who has been in the seat of power for 30 years. And then when you look around your road, mash up, the schools poorly performing, housing dilapidated, jobs are meaningful jobs are scarce. Health is not a priority. There is no way this is supposed to happen, but guess what? It happens. And it happens frequently. And when I try to compare what's going on in Jamaica with what goes on in America, because you know what they say, all politics is local. No matter what you hear the central government say, politics local. It comes down to the community and the representative. And when I look around in America and say, oh, the politicians operate, we could learn something from them. At the local level, I'm talking about. Here's what I mean. You see, when a Republican win in a era where you have Democrats, whatever, guess what happened? When it's time to fix things, she try and fix everything. Fix things for Democrat, fix things for Republican. Because you know why? They want to vote the next time, the next election. And then figure, say, look, the more people we help, the greater the chance that we will win. And so everybody get help. I don't see much of that going on where you have one party, you know, they win a seat and they only take care of their supporters only in that constituency. I'm talking about in America. I really don't see much of that happening. There have been instances where you'll have a white person who is in charge of a constituency and don't spend a lot of resources in a black community. Won't deny that. And sometimes it goes the other way too. But in general, them go and fix everything them can fix. That is a sign of a mature politician. One who understands that, listen, the more vote I get, the greater the chance I will win. I'm not just pandering, catering to satisfy a segment of my community. But we have a certain politics in Jamaica that doesn't lend itself to this kind of thinking. And we become a slave to it, a willing slave. Say, Elaine says, salt and sugar look the same, ain't it so? And that's why I said to people, you need to sit down with the person who's asking you for a job. You need to sit down and you need to interview them. Because because what I want you to vote on, my people, I want you to vote on the issues. I don't want you to vote based on party affiliation. I want you to vote based on issues. Because here's what, if you have a PNP representative who's not doing what he's supposed to be doing for the community, how long are you going to keep that person? If you're going to be die hard about issues, you can change the politicians. Be die hard about issues. And so if you want to extrapolate from that, if you want to take away from what I'm saying and make a big picture out of it, because of the system we have in Jamaica, where the first party to cross the line, in terms of the majority, they get to control everything, with some exception. Because of that, what do you have to do now? Because and JLP supporters, they accuse me of this. They say, well, you only have focus on, you have criticized the JLP, you now criticize the PNP. And I'm saying, what is there to criticize? They're not in power. They don't have the power of the purse strings. They're not making decisions for the country. No. So why should I focus heavily? No, I focus heavily on the party that's making decisions for the country. At the same time, though, you still have to look to the PNP and say, okay, this is what they're doing. What's your plan? You'd be foolish not to ask that question. So what you have now is this. You have you're going to compare a plan to a performance. You're going to look and say, Mr. JLP, you've been here since 2016. Let's see what you've done. And you're going to look at the PNP and say, you haven't been here, but let's see what you are going to do. I'm telling you, people, sometimes I sit down at night, and like I said, I'm new to this. I'm new to this. I am learning Jamaican politics every day. And if it sounds like I am versed or well versed in it, it's because of the effort I've put into it. It's because of the many nights that I sleep 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Because I'm going through reports. I'm writing ATIs. I'm writing letters. Now, I don't expect everybody to be like me. Everybody cannot be like me because everybody doesn't have the time that I have, or cannot make the sacrifice for the time that I have. Not everybody can do it, but some of you can, man. Some of you can. And even if you can't do it to the extent that I do it, you can do some of it. You can do some of it. Think about how the government would feel if all of a sudden they see an avalanche of ATIs coming in. Just think about it. I have about 20-something responses that I haven't even touched yet. Well, more than that. Because I'm just one person. And even though I'd like to think that there are 48 hours in a day, last time I checked, it was only 24. I'd love for it to be 48 hours in a day, but it's only 24. So I'm asking you to get involved. Get involved at any level you think that you might be able to make a contribution. There are people like me. I'm not the only one. There are lots of people out there willing to provide the guidance and the support. There are organizations out there that will do the same. But you have to show the effort. These things are not going to come and just drop in your lap. We want when them see you, them see progress, them see effort, them see courage, them see education. We don't want them to see you and think, say, if me put a man a name on a bulla cake, him nyam it. We don't want that. That's their mentality. That you can't think for yourself, them have to think for you. That you're so stupid and put a name on a bulla cake and you nyam it. No realize that you're in here. So 10:56. All right. Look, folks, I am never tired of talking about Jamaica and our people. Never. And there are people who are trying to shut us up. But God willing, that will never happen. So we will continue to talk. And they can threaten as much as they want. God willing, their threats will never affect us. The threats will never distract us. Will never let us be afraid of speaking truth to the powerful. So-called powerful. Because we, the willing slaves, are the powerful. We need to wake up and realize. And one day, and I hope one day soon, this will come to pass. This will come to pass. All right. Phone line still open. 667-369-8569. All right. So OT said to me, say, Mr. Rattigan, please remember to let the people know that 6 months, actually it's about 5 months now, 5 months remaining, OT, for the Waterhouse rally. And we're asking people to please donate. And if you donate $5 a week, it's fine. You know, in fact, it's much easier than coming to you in November and say, hey, give me $100, give me $50, give me $1,000, $5. And remember now, you know, we are taking it to the communities to tell them that, look, you, the community, you will have to play a part in this in terms of raising funds as well. So we are just assisting. But they will have to do, see what we did with the Randy Williams thing at the Reconnection rally. Every Reconnection rally going forward will be promoted, produced by the people in the community. We will assist. We can't direct nobody. And we will not start doing it. But we will come in and say, okay, where do you need help? Because you need help with speakers. And we have the speakers them line up, right? If you need help with refreshments, we can help. But you, the community, will have to help too. You will have to go out and find the venue. Well, actually, no, we are find the venue because of Waterhouse and my school. So we are to the venue. But when we go Mandeville people have to go find the venue. When we go Yallas, they have to do the same thing. Wherever we go, they will have to do the same thing. They'll have to jump out and play an active role because, again, this is about shaping the community. It's about energizing the community. And we will have some challenging moments. You know why? Because the powers that be will resent what we're doing and reject what we're doing because this is not in their best interest. But remember, Jayud said best. You know what I'm songs them. Isat's father. Him have a line in one I'm song them. I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but him said, united we stand and we will never fall. United we stand and we will never fall. All right. Nobody now call me. Nobody now want to chat to me. So, hey, me take it personally. No, I don't want to talk. No, just kidding. We'll keep the phone line open for one more minute, for 60 seconds. Or we could I do like we could I do a favor, Minister Favor Williams. I say we'll keep the phone open for one more minute, 30 seconds, and that would be a favorism, you know. We'll keep the phone open for one more minute, 30 seconds. 30 seconds from now, we'll turn it off. So, people, I hope I was able to get through to some of you. I hope some of you will at least, I'm asking you to think through, just think through the things I've said. And let's help each other. Let's start putting our heads together and start forcing the ideas. 30 seconds, all right. Good night. Caller, where are you calling from?
Somewhere on the planet, sir. How are you, Mr. Rattigan?
I'm doing well, thank you. Oh, so people are calling now. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so your rally, it went off pretty good.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The,
The
the
message was
speech,
well received.
it
and-
was well received.
Yes.
I did enjoy myself being there.
Oh, outstanding, outstanding. Thank you. Thank you for being there.
You're quite welcome. The
Mhm.
looks on the children's face, it was priceless.
Wow.
They were having fun. There were so many foods.
Thank
People were taking home foods with them. Food was great, but knowing me, I'm a veggie, so I kind of stay away from
you.
food.
Well, there was veggie there, man.
Yeah, I got something. I got something. OT took care of me. She got me, I believe she got me some garbanzo beans, or it was
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
And also the speakers were great.
Good.
The officers, I interact with them. And Prezi and Jamaicans, oh, they had the stage rolling.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah. And please, keep doing what you're doing. It was absolutely received. And I had no problem going down, to take a look at it. And you know what? Congratulations. You're the first person to as a vlogger, to take care of that. And I hope, it could transcend in other people also doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
I agree, and I hope so too.
Yes, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And just don't listen to the naysayers. Mr. Rattigan, you're a good person. They just have to know that. And one thing, you're a diaspora, I'm a diaspora, and I will stick with the diaspora the same way they're sticking with each other down in Jamaica, the government. I'm sticking with my diaspora. I happened to stop by the transformation, what you call it now,
Oh,
my
about
God.
the thing with the police?
Yes.
The exposition, the expo.
It was beautiful because I happened to, go to quite some tables, and the officers were good.
Mm-hmm.
And they were doing great explanation of what's going to be happening. Hopefully it comes to pass.
Good.
But I had fun. And thanks again. You get me out of my comfort zone to travel down to Jamaica. Something I haven't done in more than 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I thank you so much. And you keep doing the good job you're doing. Don't listen to the naysayers, Mr. Rattigan.
All right. Thank you so much.
And OT and Miss Jones, they did very, very well. I was there just watching and having fun. And the young man, Fabian,
Jamaica walk by, yeah.
he did you guys justice. That was very kind of him.
Yes.
So, Mr. Rattigan, keep the phone line. Someone else will call in.
Okay.
Miss P, where are you? All right, sir. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. You're quiet.
Yeah, folks. See, them things that get the juices flowing. This nice lady with her nice self call me and just say why. And again, I tell producer Joan and producer OT that it's not about me, and I never want it to be about me. I want it to be about the message, not the messenger. I want it to be about the message. And if that is the case, we're all messengers. Caller, good night. Welcome to Come Reasons, Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good night, Ratty. I miss
Yeah, Miss
you, man.
P, talk
Big
to
up,
me.
yeah, big up to the caller there. We were beside each other at the rally.
Okay, outstanding.
Yes. And you know, sitting in class and listening and learning, something come to my head, to my knowledge. I'm saying, could you out here and the whole crew get a team of health sector in the next rally going forward? Is that too much to ask?
No, it's not too much to ask. I think that's a vital point, that we get some people in the health sector you're talking about, like nurses, doctors, dentists.
You're right. Yes, on dentistry, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, can do a volunteer.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a timely point to raise, because we were planning to do that for the last rally, but instead we had the ambulance. But you're right. You're right. We should. I'm going to speak to them. I'm sure they're listening right now too. Joan and OT, they're listening. So I'm sure tomorrow morning, well, maybe after I come off tonight, they will call me and say, hey, listen, we need to do this, and we need to get it out to the community.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fine.
But see, what is it, Miss P? This is what I live for. I live for the interaction. So people like you can call and say, hey, listen, I have an idea, and here is my idea. I live for this, because we know that intelligence and information do not reside in one place. We don't have a monopoly on ideas. We are a big tent, and we say everybody on the tent, who can talk to, and can express on themselves. Give us some ideas, make us work with it. We give you our ideas, you give us your ideas. And when we start collaborate like that, guess what? We're going to refine the ideas, and the best ones will surface. And the best ones will always be about the health, the wealth, the prosperity of our people. Not about some politician of our people. And this is what I'm trying so desperately hard for people to understand. That this is about people. It's not about politicians and parties. That's afterwards, because guess what? When you were born, you never born PNP, you never born JLP, UIC, or up Jamaica. No, you born a person. And people indoctrinate you. People indoctrinate you. Teachers, community, parents, friends, neighbors, people indoctrinate you. So what we want to take the scales off of your eyes, and then say, we want you to become an independent thinker. We want you to think for yourself. We don't want nobody to think for you. You can share ideas with people. You can support their ideas, but you must be able to put forward ideas. And I see an election is coming up. I would say, vote your interest. Vote the interest of the community, and by extension, Jamaica. Don't make nobody tell you. You go through all of the things. And like I said before, this election coming up is performance versus ideas versus promises. Because we don't have a system where two parties are running around the country. It's one party. So we have to look at their performance from 2016 till now. And then we have to look at what the opposition is saying that they will do when they get the reins of power. And you make a decision. That, true. If my people could have do that, me I tell you, my life fulfilled, man. If them could have do that and say, you know what, I'm right, we're going to do it. And here's the thing, you see, when you do it, it no matter to me who you vote for, as long as you go in there and express yourself in the private room when you cast your ballot as an informed voter. That's all I ask for. As long as you go in as an informed voter, as long as you go in and you say, okay, you know what, from 2016 to now, them promise we earth, sun, and sky. We don't get none of that. And then look on them other people, and then people say, hey, this is what we plan for though. And if you think that for them plan reasonable, if you think that for them plan reasonable more than the continuation of promises, of poor performance, then you do what you have to do. I'll be happy with that. You'll be happy with that. Trust me. And we can all hope for a better Jamaica. Because here's what happened. You see, once you start holding politicians accountable, that's when you will really start seeing true, not promised, true prosperity. When you start holding them accountable. I mean, think about it. Think about it, Miss P. How the hell you can have an education system that is riddled with corruption and then say that you care about the children being the future of our country? How could that happen?
I didn't take everybody to fool.
Yeah, exactly. And when the people come and say 3 trillion gone, them say no, the money not gone away. It's just a matter of filing and yet still we know that the money that Grace McLean and Dean Roy Bernard, at least the money that passed through the 120 something million, we know that is never coming back. That is never coming back. That money, that 100.
And he can't come back in a rally, in a rally. Yeah, man, he can't come back, man. When you prison them and carry them a court and find them guilty, you take away their assets.
But here's the thing.
House, land, motor, car, and sell it.
But here's the thing. None of them have the money. And no, you can't bring, where you have to go bring, no, you have to go bring a criminal action against them. Because the civil action, but the criminal action, that's just to imprison them. But it's not to get anything back. The civil action is almost over. The civil action, that remember the surcharge action, the statute of limitations fly by. I remember the other action, the civil fraud action. That action, the statute of limitation ends this year. This year, it might have ended already. So the only action left now is to do a criminal action against them, and then you're gonna lock them up. And you know what? You see what with the judiciary. If there are 2 people who should have go to prison, 2 people come before the bar of justice who should have go to prison, is Marissa Dalrymple Philibert and Leslie Campbell. And with the 2 of them there, one in a parliament and one a run up and down. And the 2 of them should have, and one of them pled guilty. She said, yeah, me do it. The next one, he was found guilty. And them not serve a day in a prison. But if you think you bad, go climb the Governor General, the property belongs to the people. Go over there, go climb and pick a hockey and see if you're bad. And see what happens.
Well, I know with the help of the Almighty God and the knowledgeable people like you and others, it will change.
It have to change.
And when it change, it have to change for better.
Yeah.
Have to change. Because I tell you something. What I sit down and observe with my little knowledge where I have, this ruling governor, over there, him have some wicked in every place. We have suppressed the people. It come like a Saharan dust. So even the judiciary, I've tried to be careful. I know do them no want to do them job enough. But me can tell you, everybody at Jamaica, 95% are Jamaican, right as we speak, in every class, from the lowest rank to the highest rank, from down a crossroad to up a Beverly. That's a wait for the second big election call. And that them a wait for. You think I thought they don't want that?
All right, because
you think I know them don't know? They know. Even the businessman, they know them a feel it. it'll lick them at their face, it'll slap them because production and people don't want to work. You hear people that say Jamaica don't want to work. When you do the maths, because we can't count, it doesn't make sense because when you get paid only for bus fare, why are you working for a bus fare? And you're not going to school.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. So when they say people don't want to work, I lie them I tell. And I hear something I don't know if you hear me, I can give you a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Dana Dixon said the reason. I know that's exactly what it means, but I want to say, like I say, the reason why Dennis Strong get fed is just out of a conversation. I want you to go and look at it and dissect it and because you're more.
When you say that?
Some between yesterday and today.
Oh, because they have a meeting. Yeah, they have a meeting. What you say, it's not the post cab meeting, because the post cab is today. It's yesterday. It's yesterday.
I think it's about one talking with Dan Jackson Miller. But it's like she said, boy, no, in a layman term, me I put it like I said,
paraphrase. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, paraphrase. It's not like say, in go through the resume and this. I just talk and he just come to me and we just say, make we use Rattigan.
Right.
Just like that.
That's wrong.
So, yeah, hard you. So when I try to show people, and the ordinary people like myself, Jamaicans, please wake up. When these people tell lie grow on many corners, but truth straight because the pressure start to reach them now. And when we corner them have to just quote and talk the truth. No, they're not Dixon, Morris Dixon.
They're not Morris Dixon.
Yes, that I got scan them for life, even when this ruling party come out. Remember me tell you, you have some people in Jamaica now, even at the media, where popularity, then done, because there are some artists, if a promoter put them on them page and say them are going to die party, nobody now go then. You have some people again at Jamaica, if them have a meet now anything and people see them name the panic, then now go attend, because then just don't want to see them here, them have nothing to do with them, Then mislead this country and tear up this country so bad. How can you have a nation and lead? And you lead them blind. What happened to the generation coming behind you? What happened to the kids in the university who is looking at you and say, I would want to be like you?
Mm-hmm.
No, what message you send them? And the Prime Minister, I don't know if during time in tenure, he was on this IR that he believed he couldn't be touched. You talk to university kids like nothing, you back up at them and talk down to them. And now it's coming back at you, sir. If you do good will follow you your track record. A prime minister, an incumbent prime minister that have the vote for 2 terms. You should be campaigning on what you are going to do, You should be campaigning if you do a campaign on what you have done. I remember a young lady when PJ Patterson was prime minister. PJ never used to campaign so hard. When campaign time in grow and he visit you and make a little grow, call campaigning high spirit and lift up your little spirit. But he never used to campaign and tell you what he might go do and what he might go do. He tell you what he done and what is to be done. At least PJ to tell you, say, I have done this, I may put 5 something, I may get 3 done, but because of time, we have 2 more video. So keep the progress going. But this man I go tell you, he might go do this, he might go build 3 sister story, how market, he might go make Silicon Valley there, so he might go make STEM school there, so and this man a grown up broke hurt like if earthquake come to Jamaica, he may work by now. Cause the amount of ground when I broke, like he might go wake up the earthquake man people. And when you broke ground, we do something within 3 months. What can done so? And somebody else, I forgot do it, not you. Definitely. the dumb, the blind, the deaf, down to the dead. Tired of you.
Right.
I meet with people where them blood green. So you know, so them are labor right. And when they say them party mash up, never again. Because the Prime Minister understands that when you get it, down to PMP vote for him, and say young, in Banya, he have edit. But me tell him, me never trust this man, when man say, bitter medicine. My teacher tell we say, me have a trainer, Bobby Finton, tell we say, you must always listen where people say and hold them to where them say. Because it is in the intention. In the intention, the man say, bitter medicine, eucalyptus oil. Eucalyptus oil smell bad?
Yeah.
$18,000 can buy zinc, you can buy food, you can buy this. And that thing take and catch them. And when Portia say, don't stop the progress. And all I want to vote for the eucalyptus oil. And indeed, the eucalyptus oil, nothing smell bad, sir. And the bitter medicine. So why we are quarreling now?
Miss Philly, Miss Philly, looks like Miss Philly I come. But anyway, before you go, Miss Philly, come back, please. While you're way off to say. But I tell you what though, before, cause you take the win out of my seal, because me don't ask you speak. Me don't say, okay, now that we do all of this talking, what is it? More Jamaicans tell me, what is it on the need for do for make a change? What do you need for do? And then you went straight to the election. And we have said, well, you know what? If them going to go to the election and exercise them franchise in a meaningful, informed way, then all we need to do is fan the flames. Because the firelight already. All we need to do is the firelight already. Just fan the
flames. The fire is light because people don't want me tell you. Marky G, I'm going to be the next Prime Minister. And me can tell Mr. Golden. People are going to hold him accountable. You know why? This government, and we handle it, open people eye. People are going to vote not on party line again. People are going to vote for their future and their lovely children's future. So when you have done, what you think you do? You make people eye open. Remember now, Mr. Wallace, back then, people never have Google, they never have internet, back lamp and torch we used to have. So when politicians come out and tell we say, cow jump over moon, we believe him because the old politician, pastor, head teacher as God. But now any God are we are one God, away from the living true and living God. We have sent, and for the elder who don't have the knowledge, them have children, nieces and nephews who have the knowledge. When we are read an article and we buck up on a word where we do not understand, while we do, we type in the word, write it down on a piece of paper, go to Google, write it down on Google, ask Google what I mean, and Google I go tell me.
Exactly.
Either we put it on Vice or Google spell out and tell me, so we know we have to put the word.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Prime Minister, what you're doing as a young man born at Jamaica, grower, we are sending you home in a fine style. And Mr. Mark Walden, remember everything what you said upon tape. Everything, and we know say can't done in a one day.
Right.
Now probably in a 1 year. But you have to do it. And one of the most things when we want you to do is to send them a prison. Take back some of my money because I can guarantee you no money no in the kitty. No money no in the kitty. So you have to call to give Mr. Phillips to help you for although you are bank man so you know how to run money how to do. To help you care about this country. Cause no money no in there. You see this man can't pay a civil servant. Pensioner can't get them paid, but at the same time, him a promise people $1 billion for solidarity work. Don't talk it true now. We are there.
That me a talk
Eh?
about. That me a talk.
These are the things people look on. You will like a Western hospital region, nobody don't get now work and they not get their money. Upper the place, attorney general department, and so somewhere there. Pensioner and fear come out there. I go for the pensioner, you know. You're looking at this now, a young man or a young woman giving whole entire life to a country, whether it's him a nurse, police, fireman, or whatever. And now you're reaching twilight years in contribute to nation building. And you must have up and down from bank to AGD to get a little money to buy a little pill and then pay a little bill. You're not talking to come on, Jamaican man. Put parties aside, man. Think carefully. Put young Jamaican, put yourself in a position. So you work with the government for 30, 40 a year. You reach a retirement now. When you try to kick back and a little chicken back compatible, you have to find bus fare to go a bank, you have to find bus fare to go ahead GD. Them things and them things they're wicked, cruel, and yet still the government tell the civil servant 0% in the first year, 2.2 in the second, 2.2 in the third, so 4 years you will get 7.5%. You think that yeah? Eh? But yet still, you are going to spend $1 billion to give solidarity program. And when I hear the word solidarity as a big woman now, it hurt me to the core. See, I got to tell we say we are going to push solidarity card. For those who not member, who go look. And in coming around and say, people, young, boy, may I tell you something, your heart grieve, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Say me, I go left school and go downtown and man put up your foot past stool and me cleaning boot. You remember yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when me go to school, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Those who don't have the education, no get no subject. You go downtown with cloth and clean man dirty boot. And you get solidarity card to push and sell ice cream and snow cone. You remember that?
I remember.
You never tell me say if you going to help them who don't pass and send them back to school and make we achieve, you know. We are going to push solidarity card and clean man dirty boot. When me a young picnic girl, remember that. So as we come out, I feel one call. Yeah. And as I said, Jamaican, listen, learn, dissect, ask questions to people who you believe have the knowledge and who fear because you have people who have the knowledge, but they're deceiving because they are in a web and try to cover up for themselves. So a man and liar, he will know it right, you know, but because he's connected, he not tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right?
So learn to yourself. So as I come off and go back to class, the time is coming, make you no decision. Those of us who all make it for your grand picnic and your great grand picnic. Not for we are picnic pass for high school now. Or we are going to foster them in the name of Jesus. Make a decision.
All right, Miss P.
Right.
Leave it there. So Miss Philly, I call me.
All right.
Talk. All right. Miss Philly, welcome. Again.
Mr. Rattigan.
Turn down your device, please.
Ah, boy, I tell you, you know I work my thing, right?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Mr. Rattigan. Let me have this to what Miss P is saying. You hearing me, Mr. Rattigan?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Now, as the saying is, a drowning man hold on to a straw. That's the position the Prime Minister finds himself in. Mr. Chung coming on board, that was well planned, sorted out. Though they have that meeting, he was in mind. The Prime Minister knows what is going on. People have been realizing and recognizing and beating on the corruption in Jamaica in his government. And so what he did was to sit down. They sit down and they talk about this. How can I rescue myself? Just like how Warmington did come up and go tell him about to go over Portmore and go get seat and all of that. That evil man. Yeah, he advised the Prime Minister do something like that. And the Prime Minister not have no head of his own. Him head turn upside down. Him go over there and start the bangarang. See, it never take him anywhere. So it's just the same thing. They're advising him and they're advising him wrong. And they're not gonna stand with him when his back is against the wall, but the fire is going to come. It was well planned out and sorted out. He's looking ways to hide what he's doing. And that's clearly seen. Okay, that said, come back to this. Remember his words. He know how to turn it up. So, he might turn it up now. Why couldn't he turn it up in the 9 years? Yes, he should have turned it up. No, these are the people, no apology, I call idiots. Because if he's turn it up, he might turn it up now. Why couldn't he turn it up? Why me have to suffer? Why me have to go buy two 3 loaves of bread? Why me have to go buy $20 toothpaste? Why me can't get no water for washing the skin? Why suffer me? Why can't lick down my place? When they throw me like a partner and say if I go put a roof over my head. Worse if I have children. I'm trying to make myself viable because the government not helping me. No, you come lick it down. You don't give me back no money. He has not paid back these people. He's not paid back the people, you know. Yet his wife is saying, oh, the PNP people, them live at Gully Bank. She's a developer. Miss Delilah, what did you do for the people? Be a woman. Have humanity in you. You have done nothing. You've not done nothing for the people except to help yourself. Oh, boy. So that I have to say, wait, Mr. Rattigan. No, reason with Rattigan. No, Mr. Rattigan. You said, come reason with Rattigan. No, Mr. Rattigan. Let me ask you this question. Mr. Rattigan.
I'm listening.
You have put in so much. Not only you, others too. I don't have to call no names. You all have put in so much. But with you now, it opening our eyes to some things that we did not know we could have done, especially with the Constitution. Now, Mr. Rattigan, are you optimistic that change is going to come? One answer I want.
Yeah. The only thing constant in life is change. And so I have to believe that we're making inroads into having our people free themselves from the shackles and chains of being
from mental slavery, as Bob Marley says.
Yes. And so you have to believe, and like I've always said, and we know this to be true, that is one government at a time. And so yes. All you have to do is look at what they've done, look at what they've said, and what they've done. And
hold them accountable, sir.
Hold them accountable.
Yes, sir. I believe in that 100 and more.
And you know, it's funny, it's Philip, because what happened is that somebody asked me a similar question like the one you just asked, and I started expounding on the answer, and I said to people, I said, listen. I said, if you are waiting for Rattigan to tell you who to vote for, then you don't understand Rattigan and you don't understand the message. Because if you did, the selection will be quite easy for you. Because if you I said to them, all you have to do is go back to 2016 and slowly come to now. And the answer is there. You don't need me to tell you who to vote for. All you need to do is just have just exert some patience with yourself to understand the issues and just be critical in your thinking and be honest. Be honest in your thinking, right? And I said, once you start applying those things to the issue, they will lead you. They will lead you to becoming an informed voter. And once you get to that point, you don't need nobody to tell you who to vote for. You don't need nobody because you already know who to vote for.
And that's the word, Mr. Rattigan, informed. That's the word, Mr. Rattigan. You know more now.
Right.
Use it.
Right. Right.
All right. Let me tell you my part to add to that, why I asked the question. I believe in it. I believe the change will come. I say yes to, and let me tell you why I say yes. Now, this movement, and I'm so happy, I'm so glad. It makes me so, my mind so happy to know that we are doing something all together, everybody, and we are putting our all into it, and we're there with all of you who are doing it. You started in America, New York, and you moved to other places, okay, and you finish in New York. Now it's gone to Jamaica, and that's a good plan. That's a good idea. And you're moving from place to place in Jamaica, just like what you have done in the diaspora here. And guess what again? You are involving now, you had more to it, the community. You'll call that the nucleus, Mr. Rattigan, the community, right? Now, once the community is involved, guess who's gonna come on board? The young people. And the young people now is our focus point, or target group, Mr. Rattigan. So this is why I'm optimistic that the generation is coming now. We'll see it new. A new era, new type of politics. Not that thing that Andrew Olin is holding back on and pushing all the time, this old kind of politics. It's a new day. I'm going to use my name good enough, dawning. Change. It's a new day. So this is why I'm optimistic about this movement. And nothing under God will stop it. The young people need to see it differently, not the same old type of politics. And these old politicians with them back bend now to go sit down. We have capable students leaving the university, and train them. They can do it. Give them a chance. Am I correct, Mr. Rattigan? Mr. Rattigan? Mr. Rattigan?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
You hearing me?
Yeah, I was hearing you, but I just took a quick call. But go ahead, talk to me. You have a question for me, Miss Philly?
Okay, so this is why I believe in the movement. And I'm gonna finish it with this now. The fire is lit.
Hold on a second. The fire is lit.
Yes, the fire is lit, Mr. Rattigan, and we must keep it burning. You ever see you light a candle and the candle burning, and then the flame go down and it look like it'll go out, you know, and so on? Yes, but it's not totally out. Sometimes you have to do something to keep the fire burning. This is what we all are going to do, making sure the fire that is lit, it don't go out at all. It keep burning until we reach the old time people that said the nook and cranny, if I say it right, of where we want it to go. And then the icing will be on the cake. And then you will see that all of you will see that your work is not in vain. I finish right there.
Thank you, Miss Philly. Listen to my commentary, right? Let me tell you something, people. You know, I hope you're listening carefully to what Miss Philly said and also what Miss P said. Because, you know, I'm giving this a lot of thought. This meaning the change that people are seeking. And people ask, well, I'm not talk, I won't do. And I said to myself, the person who's making that comment, what have they done? What have they done? And so I tend not to focus on those people, the naysayers, the people who come to distract and deter us. I tend to focus more on people that you, Miss Philly, and you, Miss P, the people that you talk about. And it just dawned on me, because sometimes me get inspiration all over the place. It just dawned on me that while we're talking to people and we're teaching civics and we had protests and all that stuff, one of the most powerful things that a Jamaican can do is to exercise the franchise, the right to vote. And so while you may be afraid to go out in the street and protest, there is power in the privacy of casting your vote. When you go out and you protest, everybody see you. And them can label you, them can condemn you, them can even destroy you. But when you go inside of that booth, nobody know who you vote for. Nobody. And so I am urging you, Jamaicans, those at home and abroad eligible to vote, I am pleading with you to take this decisive action to cause the change that we talk about. This is a different moment in time than 2 years ago or 3 years ago. The point I'm making is that we are now at a critical juncture. We're now at the point where there's an election where we, the people, can go in now and start dictate by casting our vote. We only have 2 parties contesting. And when I say 2 parties, it's not to demean third parties, but I think we have like 1 third party or 2. I know Kojo out now, Westmoreland, they are doing thing. But I'm talking about established parties. It's one or the other. You have to vote, people. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to vote. And we're urging you to vote based on a real assessment of the facts. If you did not move from the poor class to the middle class, then you know who to vote for. If you did not get water promised to you from 2016, then you know who to vote for. If your picnic them never get the education promised to them or promised to you, then you know who to vote for. If your house get mashed down or if you never get a house because one was not offered to you or you cannot afford to buy one, then you know who to vote for. If you go to hospital and you have to wait days and sleep on floor and you still not see a doctor and some relatives, family, friend dead while waiting to see a doctor, or the conditions got worse, then you know who to vote for. If your light bill gone sky high and your water bill gone sideways, if you have water and if you have electricity, then you know who to vote for. If you have a prime minister with 28 bank accounts when you don't have one, and you work as hard as you can in the boiling sun to put food on the table and get send the picnic go to school, then you know who to vote for. If you're a farmer and Moroccan fertilizer come and you not get none, and you should have get, but rather say no, we don't have none, then you know who to vote for. If you're a public sector worker and them tell you, say them will have all kinds of negotiations, how the pay are going nice and everything like that, and you find out now, say a zero you get 1 year, 2.5 next year, and something like that, then you know who to vote for. If your politician get 200 to 300% raise and you not get no raise, or you get a $1,000, and another government give them just say is minimum wage. And remember, minimum wage is not the government giving you, it's the government just telling people, say you can't hire somebody for a 40-hour work week and pay them less than this. And if that never happened to you, if you don't get the 300% raise, then you know who to vote for. If them promise you no new tax and then them increase existing tax, then you know who to vote for. If you can't find fear to go to work, but them find ear fear to travel all over the world from personal business, and sometimes them combine it with claim say it's a facade. Them cover it up but it's business travel. Then you know who to vote for. If they might have $1 billion project, but the night not happening in your era, then you know who to vote for. If them a thief and a commit corruption and now go to prison, but you know if you never dare do something like that because you go to prison and you could have end up like the man who spent 50 years inside there without a trial, then you know who to vote for. If they might tell you about them, I'll clean up the environment and them a pollute the Rio Corbury and nobody now go to prison, despite the fact that them have stringent laws and people will suffer the full consequences of the law. And it's not happening, then you know who to vote for. People, I've given you so many reasons as to why you should know who to vote for. You don't need me to tell you who to vote for. If you realize that the dollar against which is like the benchmark currency where we measure up our currency against, and it has not been stabilized, even though people tell you say it's going to be stabilized, then you know who to vote for. If people promise you policies to help with gender inequality in the workplace, and yet still those policies have not been implemented, But them spend money every year, your money, to have big party and give big speech and I eat big food, and you not invited, you know who to vote for. Caller, good night. Welcome to Come Breeze with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask you what your impression was on the World Bank leader visiting Jamaica.
Look, World Bank, UN, all of these people, they can go to Jamaica all they want, because at the end of the day, here's how I view it. A banker loves a customer who pays on time and pays a nice interest. And that is what's going on in Jamaica. They will always get glowing reports from the UN and all these people that they're borrowing from, because they're making the payments, but the question is at what expense? And that's at the expense of the development of Jamaica and its people. When you tell me that your debt to GDP ratio is fast approaching 70, and you boast about it and you're proud about it, but then when you look at the development of the country, it's underdeveloped. It means nothing to me when you tell me that. Japan is over 200. And nobody would say Japan is a failing country compared to Jamaica. The US is over 100. Canada is over 100. Belgium is over 100. Germany is over 100. And the list goes on and on. But we don't see the same problems affecting Jamaicans, affecting people in those countries. We may say different problems, but not the kind of economic problems that we see in Jamaica.
Yes.
So when they go to Jamaica and they endorse what the Jamaican government is doing, I only have one question to ask. Does that trickle down to the ordinary Jamaican in the street? And every time I've asked that question, the answer is no. They don't see any benefit from paying off the debt. Even though the government says when we pay off the debt, it means we have more money that we can spend on developing our people and our country. Those are, to paraphrase the words coming out of the mouth of the Prime Minister. But ask the average Jamaican, ask them, have you benefited from this debt to GDP ratio? Ask them.
But
go ahead.
We just have to look at the condition of the country in most areas,
right,
to see that there is no development. The only developments are, the Prime Minister and his wife putting up expensive building projects. That's the only quote unquote development. But at the end of the day, my impression, that's why I wanted yours, is they're definitely endorsing the financial abuse by Andrew Holness and his cabinet.
Yes, they are.
It's almost like they're putting, giving him a pat on the back for the great job of stealing $470 million and having $3 trillion missing. It almost, is he using some of that to pay these people? They're so chummy with him, and they're supposed to be some type of figures of authority and some kind of integrity, but apparently they're rubbing shoulders with him, so they have none either.
Well, here's the thing. Think about it. Let's simplify this for everybody, because sometimes, depending on the sector of Jamaicans you're talking to, they may or may not understand when you raise a question about the IMF and the UN and all these other lending institutions. Let's simplify it. When you borrow money from a banker, he does not care about your situation. He cares only about you satisfying your obligation, meaning you pay, and you pay on time, and you pay a good rate. That's all he cares about. Banker doesn't want to hear about, boy, you picked no go to school and you couldn't and do horse dead and crow fat. No, banker doesn't care about that. And if you think about it like that, then you kind of like, you don't excuse these organizations, but you don't pay much attention to them. Because Jamaica has borrowed money from these people, and Jamaica is paying back the money at a breakneck pace, and at a pace that is related to the underdevelopment of our people. Because some of those money, Barbados did the opposite, you know. Barbados said, yeah, we're going to borrow the money, but we're going to pay you back at our pace. We're not going to pay you back at a breakneck pace, because we want to use some of that money to develop our people. So that's what Barbados did. Jamaica said, no, we're going to pay off. And they trumpet this thing as if, you know, it's such a financial miracle. And when you listen to them, you would say to yourself, but wait a minute, Jamaica is doing quite well until you go to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the conditions, especially in the inner cities. And then you realize, wait a minute, this trickle-down theory is not working. Nothing has trickled down to these people. In fact, a lot of these people have the middle class in Jamaica is dwindling. And you know that you cannot have a developed society without a thriving middle class. You need a middle class. So that's why in Jamaica, there's stark contrast now between the haves and the have-nots.
Yes, indeed. And that the have such a small number of people in comparison to the remainder of the population.
Indeed.
So, you know, the control they're exerting over these people.
I agree with you.
Context in it, right?
I agree.
Between the plebeians and the royals.
Mhm.
And when the royals started ill-treating the people had a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And taught them a lesson. But we're in an era now where, you know, it's a reverse. They want to, you know, kill us off at the pass.
Well, here's the thing. The revolution. You know that Gil Scott Aaron song, "The Revolution," will not be televised. I don't know if you know that. Look.
I will look it up.
Yeah, Gil Scott Heron, GILSCOTT -HERON, and the name of the song is "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised." The revolution that you just spoke about, it will not be televised. You know why?
Oh.
Because it's called an election, and nobody will see you when you go inside there and cast a vote. This will be a referendum that is also a revolution. Look, I want to thank you for calling. Let me jump on and grab another call.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Caller, good night. Welcome to Conversation with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
Sir Rattigan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. And you?
Oh, staying alive.
Good. That's a good thing. Every day above ground is a good day.
Just want to take you away from the politics for a second.
Sure.
What I'd like to know, if the diaspora, with your interest in everything, is willing to work with the maroons to develop their area, and as a economy that will exist alongside with the Jamaican economy, and in the long run, they'll be in a position to fund the Jamaican government.
That's a question, right? Whether or not the diaspora would be willing to assist the maroons so that they can develop their community and by extension the Jamaican society.
That's correct.
Okay. That's a very complex question. I'm getting
you said that
go ahead.
You need ideas.
No. Don't believe me. I welcome ideas. But the question you asked me, it's not an easy question to answer. Why?
Oh.
Because, and I'll tell you why. First of all, when you say the diaspora, who are you referring to? Because the diaspora is a splintered group. So,
Well, what I'm saying is that with your organization, you can be in touch with Jamaicans who are in the diaspora with a lot of experience that you can come together and develop the program.
here's tell me what you think about this idea. The diasporas are very, as I said, very splintered group of people, and people they subscribe to, you know, different brand of politics. Some of them subscribe to brand Jamaica, some to the JLP, some to the PNP, some to no P. Some of them is just to self. So the trick is to get a diaspora group that is dedicated to the upliftment of our people, to the development of our people, to the education of our people, to all the good things that could happen to our people, and also get them involved with the maroons, meaning that join forces. So if you have a way where the maroons could see us as an ally and say, okay, we will work with your group in terms of trying to get the government off of our backs, in terms of reclaiming our land, in terms of developing our land, doing what we want to do with it as far as mining, rare earth elements, bauxite, community tourism, all of those things. If they're willing to work with us, then we're willing to work with them. If you know of people within the community, the maroon community who would like to do that, then please let us know, and let's start something.
Well, I'm a maroon, but of course I'm not in touch with the present people who are running everything down there. But we could find a way to engage with them, and to see if they're willing to work with us. And the reason why I'm saying this, I have put together a project which you probably heard about, and it's a pilot program to work with them in what I'm talking about.
And how has it been received?
I don't know. I haven't sent it to anybody because I don't have any contact with the maroon community as yet. But I've sent you a copy so you could read it. And
here's what you do.
Pardon me?
No, here's what you do, right? I've had the maroons on the program.
Right.
It wasn't Chief Curry. It was one of his deputies who came on.
Okay.
And very educated, very well spoken person. And I was hopeful that we could do something more with them.
Yes.
But just like how the diaspora is fractured, I've come to understand that the maroon as a community is fractured. And so that's why I'm saying it's a complex question. So you have to be careful who you talk to about what.
Well, we could find a way to start the dialogue.
All right. And so you have no entree into that community?
Not as yet.
Are you actively seeking? It sounds like you're actively seeking.
Yes.
All right. How long when did you start?
Well, my seeking has been on and off because I'm pretty busy doing a lot of other things.
All right. Well,
if you can arrange a contact, since you said you have spoken to one of them already,
yeah, it was on.
And we could send them the pilot program, and they could respond back, to us to see if they have any interest.
All right. You know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you the number.
Yes.
For hold on. I'm gonna send you the number for a maroon spokesperson. right? And then
Okay.
you reach out to them, and especially since you are claiming to be a maroon, I think if you reach out to them, I was only told that I was a maroon, but I don't have any proof. No, they've said that because of the intermingling and all of that, every Jamaican, but I don't think they say every Jamaican. I think they say a lot of Jamaicans are maroons and they don't know it.
Well, we're descendants,
Yeah.
we
So
all are.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you the number for
Mhm.
one of the a high-ranking
Contact.
maroon person. Yeah, until you can reach out to that person, and then we take
Okay.
it from there. And I'd like for you to just keep in touch with me. Let me know how things are progressing, and also let
Mhm.
me know if you'd like me to be a part of anything that you're doing.
Well, of course, that's why I'm calling you.
Okay. All right.
In the meantime, you can read the ebook so you will have an idea what I'm talking about.
I know I promise you I would have read it a long time ago, and I'll be
Mm.
frank. I'll be honest with you. I haven't.
Well,
I'll have to carve out some time. And
Kevin has a copy of it too.
oh, Kevin has a copy. All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Mhm.
talk to Kevin.
All right.
I'll talk to Kevin about it. All right.
All right. So you'll send me
Yeah, I'm
that
gonna send you
number.
the number. Yeah,
All
and
right.
then when you call, you can just kind of tell them that. If they ask, you can just tell them I forwarded the number to you.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it, man.
You're welcome anytime.
Keep up the good work.
Much appreciated. Take care now. Bye bye. Yes, people. Whoa, 12:07. Goodness gracious. OTL kill me. All right. We're going to turn off the phone. No, I think somebody else was trying to call a while ago. So whoever was called, somebody was calling me from Jamaica. It wasn't Miss P. The person who just tried calling me from Jamaica, I'll give you a minute to call me. I'll give you 2 minutes. It's 12:08. It's 11:08 your time. So if I don't hear from you by 11:10 your time, I'm going to turn off the phone. All right, people. Look, sometimes, I say to OT, we're not going to go long tonight. We're just going to go for 2 hours. And then we'll shut it down. And I think I've become the laughing stock of OT and producer Joan. Because once you see me, you put me in front of this, I'm going to start talk. And ideas just start flow. And the conversation, chat and on the phone is going. It becomes difficult for me to just say, all right, fine, we'll finish the program. It becomes difficult. No, I am my mother's child, my biological mother. I'm her child in many, many ways. And one of them is this. My mother, and those of you out there who know my mother, you will agree readily with me. My mother has never seen a microphone she didn't like. Yeah, she closed her eyes too. she used to close, she talk and she closed her eyes. And when she used to close her eyes, especially when she had licked me, she said she don't want to see where they lick them and go. She used to close her eyes and lick me, but she used to close her eyes too. But she has never seen a microphone. She has never seen a microphone that she did not like. Anywhere my mother go, and a microphone, she said a microphone, she just start salivating when she said the microphone. And she has never been shy to grab a mic. Remember now, this is a lady who never even finished primary school. But she was never afraid to express herself. Chatterbox Ratty, yeah. So that's why sometimes we used to, when she invited us, she used to be the appointed her as the mother of one of them churches there. And when they made the ordain her, I would go sit on the front and I have to say, bye, mama, leg on the mic no, man. My mother not believe in a leg on the mic. Once she see the mic, she talk. And she would, and you invite her to the Chamber of Commerce, like Kiwanis, a school, a church, a birthday. My mother always have a speech ready in her head. She never wrote anything down. She could have read and write, and spell, but she never wrote anything down. She just talked from her mind and from her heart and her soul. And she would always take it right back to Jesus. One of them people, she would always end up with Jesus at the end. God bless you, mama. You did well. So I am her child in another sense there. When Mr. Dunwriter saw, I'm telling you, I become possessed. I become transfixed. The issue will then direct the amount of time I spend here. Not me having some artificial time saying, well, me only do it for 2 hours. And I'm telling you, doing a program for 5 hours is, to me, it's like child's play right now. It's so easy. It was always easy, as a matter of fact. So if you do a program for 2 hours, it feels like nothing to me. And in a sense, I feel that I have so much to give that 2 hours, I am doing a disservice to the people and myself. Oh, Freedom said, that's such a gift because people like me on the opposite can't even call in on the phone. Freedom, easy. Yeah, Ubuntu. So it's but again, when I sit here and I start talking to you, I want you please to keep this in mind, that it's also a learning experience for me, because I learn from your questions in the chat and on the phone, and also your explanation, and from the discussion. So when I come here, I expect, I hold myself accountable in terms of learning something from you. Whether chat, phone, or some of you have my number and you text me or you call me. So I just want to thank you immensely for giving me your time, because I know that you didn't have to do it, but you believe in the power of change. You believe that Jamaica can someday, soon, truly become the place to work, invest, raise a family, live. You truly believe. And so, give me the signal. So let's support. Don't forget, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your people, tell anybody, everybody, that this Saturday you must tune in to see this exclusive information like concerning farmers, onions, fertilizer, Integrity Commission, Auditor General, and other topics. I just hope I can get through the material. And we will also have, we may have Mr. Lambert Brown with us, not sure, but we will have small boss, big boss, the real boss, the owner of Reggae Global Radio, Joanna Marie Robinson. She will be with us. on Saturday. So I look forward to seeing all of you. Until then, take care. Take care of each other and be well. Good night. Send me out to the
No